Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brewbuilt X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brewbuilt Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brewbuilt line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brewbuilt X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brewbuilt Conicals. You can trust Brewbuilt with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brewbuilt at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
Feels like work. Shooting the shit for 2 hours, drinking beer and talking beer. What a wonderful experience.
Can we not have the barf bucket near my mixing board?
I think everybody could read the book.
I knew you were going to use this book as an excuse to quit doing this show.
Mrs. Bub, if you want, I can mail you the Bub Timer.
Yeah, Newcastle. Especially in the can. Have you ever had it in the can? No, I have not had it in the can.
Notice I closed my eyes and I concentrated really hard.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Oh, man. Hey, welcome to The Session, everybody. I've missed you guys. I'm back.
What's your name again?
I'm your host, Justin Crosley.
Oh, you were that guy.
Yeah.
Welcome. I vaguely remember you from a previous version of the show.
Gosh, this time I was gone for a while. It seems like a month.
Oh, a month? Oh, I think it's longer than a month, wasn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, wasn't it 2, 3
a month, a year?
That's just how it felt.
Oh, felt like it.
Yeah.
A month worth of show.
Yeah. It's very nice to be back, and I'm super excited because I finally got my good friend Garrett Marrero out to California to come into the studio from Maui Brewing Company. Welcome, Garrett.
Thanks, man. Aloha.
Yeah, it's really nice to have you. We've been putting off this show because Garrett and I both agreed he had to be in studio.
True. Couldn't call in.
And I'm going to be honest, that was mostly by Bevo request because you're a very attractive man.
Oh,
and she would have she would have refused to have the interview over the phone.
Well, thanks, Bev.
No problem.
No problem. No, really. No problem at all.
Yeah.
Happy to help.
And I'm happy.
She's blushing.
I'm embarrassed. You guys suck.
The back of your head is really attractive.
Every girlfriend I've ever had who's met Garrett, I have to go through the same thing. I'm like, could you put your jaw back up? I'm right here.
Honestly, I'm just surprised he wants to be your friend.
I am surprised at this often myself. I'm actually happy to see you, Garrett, too, because I had a weird dream about you last night.
Hell yeah,
wow.
let's go.
We're going to go right into that.
Here we go.
Okay.
All makes sense now.
Starts with that. And
Hashtag me too.
Right.
Wow.
Well, I clearly was looking forward to the show because the dream was like you coming out for the show, but you were really out of shape. You were like big and fat.
Oh, wow.
And I remember you kind of came in and I was like, oh, wow, Gary, you really let yourself go.
Hey, isn't everybody after Beer Week in that kind of similar state?
At least you feel that way, right?
Yeah, I feel fatter.
So I'm happy to see that you're still the same Garrett I know. You take care of yourself, which you have to do in this industry.
You do.
You know, or the liver will fail.
The whole body will fail.
The feet will fail.
So we did, in fact, I just saw Nurse Russ a couple weeks ago. We did we've always had a Brewing Network death pool. which one of us is gonna go first.
You're just betting on amongst you. You're not
we didn't
put hits out on anybody in the industry.
No, we're actually typed into the local ISIS cell, so we know.
Right.
We just make sure.
Well, and of course, for years it was Tasty because no one even knows how old he is. We haven't figured how many decades old he is.
Yeah, he's dated Ruth Bader Ginsburg, so that's how old he is.
Yeah.
And I drive carelessly, too. That's my biggest problem.
But last year, when we brought in a doctor to actually evaluate us and rank the death pool, and I actually beat out Tasty. I won. Yeah. I'm now the most likely to die at the Brewing Network.
Congratulations, young man.
A big winner, big loser.
I didn't know what to do either. Yeah, I was like, yes, I won something. The worst thing I could win. But Russ wants to come in and do it again, and it would be just funny to have Garrett fill out the questionnaire, and not to figure out where he is on the death pool, but to figure out how many years longer than all of us he will live.
He'd set the curve.
Yeah, he'll have Bevo.
Right.
Guaranteed.
Now, I'm not trying to jinx you, Garrett. I
know. Watch, I'm going to step outside and get crushed by a muni bus.
Exactly, yeah.
All bets are off.
Yeah. I'll be like, damn it, I couldn't even win that.
Yeah.
Right.
Huh. Who would have... Huh. We would just be going, for like an hour.
Exactly.
Who'd have guessed? Want another beer? Okay.
Right. Yeah. Garrett would have wanted us to drink.
Yeah. Garrett has to be better at you than everything.
Yeah. Oh, you did it again, Garrett.
Yeah.
Fucker.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, during today's interview, if you want to learn more about Maui Brewing Company, you can go to mauibrewing.com.
Yeah, we try to keep it simple,
Yeah, I like that. We're going to learn all about the I don't know now, the fast-growing Maui empire that you're building. We'll get through all the history like we normally do there. Because, when I met Garrett, you just had a small brew pub on Lahaina, right?
Yep. Yeah, just northwest side, yeah.
On the island of Maui, which you still have. But, of course, now it's really grown. So we're going to learn all about that.
Cool.
And also, even back then when I met you, I couldn't even get your beers in California, could I?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we had even just started canning right around when we met. So it was brew pub only back then.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so now all that has changed, and we'll let you know where you can find the beer. We do have it on tap here at the Hop Grenade, so if you're local and you want to come try it this week, I think we've got 5 different beers from you on tap. So and you can check it all out at thehopgrenade.com. Today's show, as you know, is brought to you by the great folks at More Beer. More Beer has been sponsoring the show since before we ever even started the Brewing Network, and they still do that today.
You need a sponsor, and they were the sponsor.
I know, yeah. I don't know why they stick with me, but they have. So thanks to them. You can go to morebeer.com, check it out, and just tell them the Brewing Network sent you. They're great people over there. Mm-hmm. Let me do some announcements. Our announcements are brought to you today by Drake's Brewing Company. You know that they're one of my favorites in the entire business. In fact, my fridge is almost constantly stocked with at least a 6-pack of Drake's beer. You can go to drinkdrakes.com and check it out. And they've got a new location I've been telling you about, The Barn. Drake's Barn is a 2-acre community gathering spot. It's just massive. They got a 400-seat beer garden. They've got fire pits, over 25 beers on tap, wine and cocktails. They're doing the cocktail thing over there, which you guys have gotten into as well, right?
Sure. Yeah, we're just getting ready to launch, actually, I think next quarter.
Excellent. All right, so go to drinkdrakes.com and check them out over there. Thank them for being a supporter of this program, because I'd have to get a job without people like that. All right, I keep letting you know about our new shows. We've got our Spanish-speaking podcast for the entire Spanish-speaking universe, the first of its kind. It's called Entre Cervezas, so tell your friends if they'd rather listen to beer information in Spanish, they can do that here. We've got our Shine Runner Craft Marketing podcast. So if you're in the business and you're a professional and you want a little help with how you can get your beer on the shelves and get it into supermarkets and all that kind of stuff, check out our Shine Runner Marketing podcast. And our newest one, Tasty, have you gotten a chance to even listen to the Hop and Brew School podcast?
No, but I have on my list of podcasts that I've downloaded. I just got to start listening to them. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite podcasts that we've created here at the BN, and it's all about hops. All the way from farm to glass. We really talk about everything. We've got 4 episodes out of that now. Another one's coming out this week. So check it out, the Hop and Brew School podcast. All right. And Heads and Tails.
I'm sorry. I'm not really feeling well.
Oh, I haven't heard of that show before. What is that show?
What is that about?
You're right. We do have a distilling show, and Maui Brewing Company started distilling as well.
Oh,
so you should have Garrett on that as well.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah. Let's record an episode right after this one.
Yeah. Just take out the segment where we talk about the distillery today.
That was it right now.
Put it in there.
Yeah, I was there when the still was getting assembled.
Oh, cool.
There was a guy up on the scissor lift putting in the last
Putting in the
pieces.
hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That was cool.
Nice.
Small world.
I need to come back now that it's running.
Yeah.
We all got to get back there.
Yeah.
Little gin, little whiskey.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully a lot, actually.
Yeah, a lot of gin and whiskey. Yeah. Our Spring Brews Festival is coming up. It's on March 30th, Saturday, March 30th. And now that Maui is in the market here, I'm hoping that you guys are going to pour beer at that fest, too. I got to talk to your rep out there.
Yeah.
And see if we can get your beers out here.
Sure. Therese would be the right one for sure.
Okay.
I can help facilitate, but they don't let me make those kinds of decisions anymore.
Understood. Yeah. It's our 10th one, guys. 10th anniversary of the Spring Brews Festival.
Wow.
I'm excited about that. Feels like we've accomplished something. You know,
it feels like it.
Yeah,
like having a birthday. Wow, I got that done.
It does feel like I've accomplished something.
Yeah, exactly. It's really Bevo. It'll be at least 62 of the best breweries from California and a little bit from beyond. We invite just a handful of people that aren't from California, but it is one of the best beer fests, I think, in the Bay Area, if I don't say so myself.
Really?
So mark that date, March 30th. Tickets will go on sale this week, so take a look at thebrewingnetwork.com. It does sell out now every year, so get on there early and buy your tickets. If you want to support the Brewing Network, do your Amazon shopping by clicking the Amazon link. You could also subscribe to BYO Magazine through our BYO Magazine link, or the American Homebrewers Association. There are all ways that you're helping yourself, but you're helping us at the same time. And if you want to give us even more money, you can subscribe and join the BN Army. We give away a $100 gift certificate to More Beer every single month to the BN Army. So sign up and help us out. JP also doesn't want to have to get a job.
That's true. I hate jobs.
Keep us here.
Yes.
All right. You can also send your feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com, which is one of my favorite segments we have. You guys are crazy out there, and I like to hear from you. We'll do that in just a minute. But first, JP, do we have a Twitter game?
We sure do, Justin. Thanks for asking.
Love it. Twitter game's brought to you today by the Wine and Hop Shop. Go to wineandhop.com, enter coupon code BNShipping, and you get $8 flat rate shipping on anything under 25 pounds. Also, Madison, Wisconsin residents, you can order your homebrew supplies online at wineandhop.com and then go pick them up at Working Draft Beer Company. So you can have a beer while you get your homebrew ingredients. Pretty good. Go to wineandhop.com and check it out. What's our Twitter game?
Well, I don't know if you knew this, Justin, but Hollywood is all about reboots.
These
days. You're not a big movie guy. I know that. You don't really watch movies. You don't really care about...
I watch the same ones over and over again.
Titanic?
The Godfather, Goodfellas, Casino, basically any mob movie. That's all I watch.
And Blazing Saddles.
You're right. I
can't forget that one.
I do throw that one in.
Well, I think it's time to announce that the BN is getting into the movie game.
Oh.
We want to do that.
Okay.
Which movie should be remade starring the cast of the session?
Ooh. God, I hope it's The Godfather.
I mean, Police Academy?
Okay, yeah.
You could go Sophie's Choice.
Okay, yeah.
Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah, right? Weekend at Bernie's.
We already know whose character is Bernie.
I'm typecast for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So name the movie.
Yeah, what movie should we reboot
star in?
As us?
I love it. All right, that's our Twitter game. You know how to do it. We'll give you the winner at the end, and Bevo will send you a lovely prize. Let's do our feedback segment for today. Feedback's brought to you today by the Beer Law Center. You can go to beerlawcenter.com. And John is a good guy. He takes care of my trademark, which is a big pain in the ass, by the way. Everybody tries to steal my hop grenade, but he does a good job of it. Go to beerlawcenter.com, and he can help you out, too. All right. Kyle writes in, this was about our show with Plan B Brewery. I was here for that one, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So I think that was the really small farm brewery out of Poughkeepsie, New York. Great guest, right? Yeah. So Kyle writes in, hey, I've been catching up on the shows. I drove 12 hours today, so listened to a bunch. As soon as I heard Evan from Plan B start talking, I said to myself, this is going to be a great interview. And it was. He's one of those guests that really fall into the BN's wheelhouse. He's kind of nerdy, super knowledgeable, and laid back. And I was happy to hear that his beers were great as well. Then he kind of goes on to talk about how when you can tell whether we like the beer or don't like the beer.
Which is always my favorite thing to hear listeners try to figure out if we like the beer or not. Did you really like the beer? That's probably the number one question that I get whenever we meet people. Did you really like that one beer from XYZ Brewing?
Right, yeah.
It was great.
So I'll just set this up for you, Maui, Garrett.
Maui.
So Maui.
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 Call him Maui.
You exude Maui.
I did have to explain to someone the other day. I got introduced as, this is Garrett. He owns Maui.
Yeah.
And the person looks at me like, the whole island?
Right.
I was like, no. The brewery.
Yeah, because they were like, no. Actually, Oprah owns the whole island.
Right. Pretty much.
So. Okay, so we've been doing this for years, and during our interviews, we don't want to trash talk anybody's beer, and so our listeners have always tried to figure out, because we say you can say nice things about every beer,
it's wet.
Yeah, it has hops that we like.
Right. Yeah.
There's a color to it,
but you can kind of tell if we really love the beer or we don't. And listeners have always tried to figure out that formula. So anyway, he says, I think that part of the perceived beer like or dislike is actually the interview itself, not just us talking about the beer. So an interviewee like Evan makes the show a ton more involved for you and the listeners. Whereas he calls out another brewery. I'm not going to mention it, but he said that one was not as good of an interview. Not bad, just not as geeky. And then he thinks he can tell how we like the beer based on like how good the interview is. I think there's probably something to that.
There's some part of that. But the beer's good. I get more interested in the interview. I mean,
and there's more to
about
talk
you
about.
guys. Where'd you get? You guys are good.
Because when the beer's not as good, we actually end up removing from the list of questions that we can ask. Like you just, so that we don't badmouth any beer, you actually have to deduct some of the content.
Yeah.
Whereas if the interview's going great and the beer's good, you can ask tons more questions.
You got any more beers? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not foolproof, because sometimes brewers are really weird people.
You're right.
And hard to talk to.
Yeah. Like
So it's not-
yourself, Beardy. Like when you were a professional brewer, if I had to interview you, I would have hated it. You're horrible.
That's why we never did it.
That's why we never had Loma on the show. You're horrible.
Well, that's why you wanted to talk to everybody else at Loma when Loma was going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Plus, there was that famous guy, so that would have been more interesting. Yeah, your favorite. But anyhow, I do think that's part of it. I think if the interview's going really well, that it usually means the beer's good, because we have more to talk about.
It's related. Yeah, it's correlated. Maybe not directly, but a fair amount.
That's a good 70%. You could probably go with that, because there are people who've had on that were great, but the beers were maybe they didn't travel well, or they just weren't.
So that's what I was going to ask you.
Them, right?
Is that what you think? Have we ever had a great interview where we really liked the guest, but did not like the beer?
I think yes.
We have.
I think so. I think so. Not often. It's very rare.
Yeah.
Because if you're in beer at all, you love it and you have a passion for it, and you could, in general, you can tell if a beer is not good or not. And I think if your personality is outgoing and you're friendly, you're not going to be pushing out beer that is subpar.
Okay. But
in general,
like a Loma interview,
well, there you go.
Because I'm thinking if we have done an interview that we're like, wow, we really like this guest, but we don't like the beer, then did we just feel bad for them at the end of the interview? Where we're like, it's too bad you're not going to make it. Because you're very likable.
I'm trying to remember the actual interview, and I'm not going to say the name if I do, but I do remember the mics going off. Like, oh man,
okay,
this guy's rad, but
he's so nice. Okay.
But we'll never tell Sully, so it's fine.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right, tell me off the air who you think we've done those.
I'm trying to remember. I remember that feeling. I don't remember the actual data around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, and I think conversely, if you've got a guy who's kind of a dick, and even if the beers are good, you don't really want to be celebrating him either.
You're right.
So you're
That's true.
You might reserve that extra kudos because he's not a nice guy.
You're right.
So it's kind of I'm sure they're correlated.
Yeah,
but
it goes both ways.
Yeah, it does.
And I think I can't quite remember who. I just remember it happening. I think in the 14 years we've been doing this, we've maybe only had one dick on the air. And they weren't blatantly, it just, short answers or kind of make you feel like that was a dumb question. And I'm just trying to help you out here, man.
Yeah.
So we've had more awkward, like you're saying, Beardy, because brewers can be strange sometimes,
And they're not trying to be mean. It's just they're not the most social and long-winded.
Yeah. I remember our listeners didn't like Nuglaris very much because he refused to give any information about the recipes on there, which doesn't happen often. Others have done that. But they're such a well-loved brewery that I think people felt, wow, I just really want to know something more about this beer because it's so good. But he would not give us anything about that.
I think early on we were getting stonewalled a lot more often with actual information.
Right.
Like pushing on information, pushing how to get stuff and what ingredients and processes and all that kind of stuff. It was a lot more of, well, I don't want to say.
Sure.
But I think, either now, because we're super famous.
Right.
But I think more of it's just the industry. Everyone is more open to be sharing information now, especially like with the cloudy IPA thing.
That's more the point. You're right.
Right. So secrets are weird now. They tried to keep all the secrets, and it kind of backfires. Yeah.
I think also just more people figured out that it doesn't matter how much information I give you, you're not going to be able to do what I do.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Especially us.
All right. Last piece of feedback. This is from Clayton, but JP, you're going to have to help me out with this.
I'll fill you in, buddy.
Yeah. All he's listed is 2 answers, but I don't know the questions.
It's Jeopardy.
Have you met our friend Clayton?
Oh, my God, Clayton.
Oh, this guy.
He's a longtime listener and sort of autistic when it comes to emailing and fractures, and he's a good dude.
Okay.
Love that guy. But this is what he does all the time.
It's either 2 words or 2 books.
Got it.
Sorry for volume 2 not arriving on time. My publisher's out of paper.
Yeah. I love that he's a good dude, love that guy disclaimer. Yeah. It's the equivalent, in the South, they say, bless your heart.
Bless her heart.
Yes, they do.
Aren't you special?
Yeah, when they start with that, it means you're a fucking asshole. Okay, so what were the questions? Do you know?
Read me the answer, and I'll tell you the question.
Okay. The first one is simple. Number 1, yes, dogs ejaculate without balls. You're welcome.
Oh, God. That was me. That was something I said, right?
Wow.
I think I was making a joke about it, and I just happened to mention... I forget.
No, I think it had something to do
a
with
stream of consciousness.
With vasectomies versus like when dogs get neutered, and I was like, well, why don't you just remove do it like a dog? Just take the whole thing away. It removes it takes away the mess.
Okay.
Because
the mess. That's
like
what Beth
things
thinks
to
of it
be
as.
tight.
It's the mess.
The mess.
Yeah. The poison.
The mess.
The poison.
Yeah. That's what she tells her husband. Get rid of this mess.
Yeah.
Happily married for almost 11 years.
Abby has feelings now.
It's mess time.
Speaking of vasectomy, I'm just going to throw this little tidbit in there. I was listening to a marketing podcast recently, and they were talking about some great marketing techniques. And there's a vasectomy doctor whose last name is like Cuts or something, like Dr. Cuts.
Jiminy Christmas.
Hell yeah.
But anyhow, with every vasectomy, he gives his patient a pocket knife that has his name on it.
With his dick size?
It's just like says, Mr. Cuts vasectomy. So he gives a pocket knife. And they were talking about how it's a great marketing move because if you're ever out with your buddies fishing or whatever and you pull out this thing and it's like, oh yeah, that's Dr. Cuts. If you ever need one, here's your guy.
It's a field kit.
Knife.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Here's the knife. It's like the pin with the president's sign. Here you go.
I loved it. All right, anyway, I thought it was good marketing.
Funny.
All right. And then the answer to the second question. Also, yes, it's quite normal for your stuff to go numb on a bicycle.
So that's a story about I'm riding have a stationary bike, a fan bike.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
JP, look at you.
It's dope. I really like it.
Well, he's got to stay home all the time now, so
right,
everything's
exactly.
stationary for him.
Yeah, and when I sit on it after about anyway, I'll spare the story, but my penis loses feeling.
Like it goes completely numb.
Like it's not there. And so how I discovered it, I was adjusting myself, and I could feel my testicles, but I couldn't feel my actual.
That's so strange.
I know.
Strange.
And then so I'm sitting there, I'm jabbing at it, going, I can't. And so I get off the bike, and instantly I get the feeling back, and so that's what he's referring to. It was very weird and odd.
You might need a different seat. Up there.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking
too. Or maybe
too.
like some biking, cycling shorts.
Yeah, that's what I
with the padding, in the.
So that he does kind of go on to do that too. He says, if you do want to keep fan cycling and burning 430 calories regularly, go to a bike shop and get decent shorts and a new seat. Yeah, he says they won't completely alleviate the problem, but should limit numbness.
Okay. All right.
Or he says stand up on the bike every 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, I was having to do that the other day, and I'm like, I can't. I'm not trying to do this, dude. I just want to sit here. I want to play my video game while I'm riding my bike. And
right.
That's all I want.
I mean, what is the problem with it going?
Workout.
Yeah,
Hardcore.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Garrett, I don't know if you can tell. I'm really into fitness.
Yeah. I mean, what's the problem with it? If it comes back afterward, and it's not painful?
It bothers me, and I just don't like it. It's very...
He's afraid it's going to fall off.
One day it won't come back.
It's emasculating, right? It's very like, I don't know. I feel like I have hidden penis syndrome at that point. It's just like, I can't do anything.
I got used to it.
Wah.
You need to be always at the ready.
Yes.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
You don't really ever.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't know.
All right.
Never is when you know.
Good luck, JP. Are you going to take advice and get a new seat and shorts?
I think I need a new seat. I don't know. The shorts, I don't know how much. I already have a gel seat cover.
Yeah.
So I think like a different seat would be the better way to go right now. And then maybe
don't
get the
they
shorts.
have them with like holes in them?
Yeah, and I always wondered what the hell they were for. Apparently it's for your
junk.
Your John nerve.
Yeah,
like
things move around a little.
It's for tucking.
Yeah, you put one ball in,
right.
and then you can't. You lock in.
Yeah,
right?
you slide everything in.
Wherever you want.
Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Clip in. Hold on, boys.
Right.
Also, then do they like come in like different size holes? Because is it one hole fits all? I don't think so.
Can you imagine?
Different manufacturers.
Yeah, measure the width of your pelvis bone, and we'll
we'll make a seat for you.
Yes. Hey, I'm into it. Kickstart that thing.
Yeah. Well, good
You
luck.
might want a treadmill. I'm just,
Also,
or like a recumbent bike. Thought about too, like the recumbent stationary.
There you go.
Yeah.
Then you can really watch TV.
Yeah.
Stairmaster.
You can't be awake.
Because my knee hurts.
Elliptical.
I can't do that. Yeah.
Elliptical.
Right.
Yeah. What made you choose the fan bike of all things?
My buddy who's into fitness he just bought a really expensive fan bike. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know about these, and apparently it's a more complete workout than just like a cardio with a stationary bike because you can get the arms in there and
okay,
I don't know, made me feel good.
And was it to cut down on the AC bill on your house in the summertime?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Okay,
I do like it.
This kid is changing your life. All of a sudden you want to live.
I want to live longer. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How old's your kid now?
She'll be 11 months. Wait, what's today? Is today the 11th?
Oh, here we go. You know all of it.
Today's the 11th.
You're that dad.
Today she's 11 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so almost a year.
Yeah, and so you're improving your life for her.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Look at you. I like it.
She still sucks, though. I hate her.
Sure.
We got to live longer to hate her more.
It's true.
All right. That's your feedback for today. We're going to take ourselves a very quick break. When we come back, we're going to start talking about Maui beer and Maui Brewing. I'm drinking the Kolsch already. I'm going to go get another one.
All right. Hey, me too.
Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch
Do
out!
you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today.
Hi, this is Tyler from Libertine Brewing Company in the Central Coast of California. You're listening to Brewing Network, The Session. It sucks. Does it suck? It sucks. But that's what's good about it, is that it sucks, right?
All right, welcome back to the program. We are hanging out with Garrett Marrero from Maui Brewing Company. Before we get into all of that, go check out beersmith.com. You can get your free 21-day trial of the best brewing software out there. Beersmith.com. Yeah, you get a free thing, so you should just go check it out. Plus, it's on the 3rd version. He's added everything you need and a bunch of stuff you don't know that you need. So go check it out at beersmith.com. All right, Garrett. I'm so excited to get to learn more about you and Maui Brewing Company.
Cool.
Let's let the listeners know. You started out in what year?
2005. January of 2005. So we just celebrated 14 years just a couple weeks back now.
We started the same year.
Yeah.
Excellent. And that was on, so of course you're on the island of Maui,
yep.
and that was in a park called Lahaina, is that right?
Yeah, so Lahaina is kind of the west side. So we opened actually in Kahana, which is kind of the northern part of Lahaina town.
Okay.
Lahaina town generally refers to that actual small part down by Front Street and such.
Okay.
That was where our production brewery, our first one was.
Which was how big? What was that?
So the restaurant when we started in 2005 was about 4,700 square feet.
Okay.
And had just a 7-barrel, 2-vessel brew house. When we opened the first production brewery was 2007. That's when we started canning. I believe we were the 10th brewery to put beer in cans, or craft beer in cans.
Yeah.
And that was in Lahaina town proper, and that one was about 5,000 square feet at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Lahaina, there's like a strip that's kind of the tourist part of
Front
Lahaina.
Street.
So and is that why you chose there for the brew pub? Because of tourism, or?
No, actually the brew pub's about 8 miles north of that. So
okay.
you're going to... you're not going to be able to walk from one to the other reasonably, at least on a vacation. But it was that location. The reason we chose it was already running as a brew pub.
Oh, okay.
And it had actually, and it wasn't Maui Brewing. It had nothing to do with us. It was just kind of a 5 partners, each wanting to do something different, and none of them were really focused or on the same team.
Okay.
So it was a retail fish and meat market, a sports bar, cigar lounge, fine dining, and a wood-fired rotisserie.
All at once?
And a brewery. All at once.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you.
Well, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was, and that's why it was just coming out of bankruptcy when we were taking it over. So
stories like that actually make me feel good about myself. Yeah. I'm a horrible business person, but I am not that bad.
Right?
Wow. What did you do before opening a brewery?
I was a financial consultant. And
really?
I think we called ourselves financial advisors when I left the industry. When I started in the industry, we were just straight stockbrokers.
I see.
Yeah.
Were you living on Maui?
No, I was San Francisco, actually.
Oh, right.
So I grew up in San Diego, went to UC Davis, and then moved out to San Francisco and was there for about 4 years before moving.
Okay.
Yep.
And were you a home brewer or something? Like, what got you into the beer game?
It's funny. I actually homebrewed twice. And I always say that most of my experience was from the consumption side.
Yep.
It was just a better place for me.
Okay.
First batch turned out okay. It was my stepdad and I. And then, we were, I don't know, probably 16 when I brewed my second batch.
Okay.
And that was in secret. And my mom found out. And then I got busted because it wasn't that she wouldn't let me have a beer, but I was being deceitful.
Okay.
So it was like, definitely got busted, and that was the end of my home brewing career.
Okay. But so you were just a craft beer fan?
Yeah, well, my
point.
grandpa was huge into micros and imports at the time.
Yeah.
And my mom and stepdad got married, and Pete's Wicked was the wedding beer.
Got it.
So we just had this constant influx at the time of whatever was available.
Right.
We'd get to try,
Okay.
and that just gave me the love for what good beer was.
Okay.
Because I hated what my uncle drank, and that was
right.
I probably say that's a High Life. I hate that beer.
Oh, huge sponsor. Hold on.
I can't.
Yeah, right.
I can't.
Yeah.
So-
Aren't they brewed with corn? They brew with corn syrup. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
Instead of rice syrup. Fructose. So it's so much better.
I don't want to get too into that, but wasn't that the strangest commercial ever?
It was
so weird.
Well, apparently they just used the corn syrup for yeast prop.
But I still didn't understand what the message was.
Because back in 2005, when everyone got really mad because high fructose corn syrup was, quote, bad for you.
Okay.
And then there you go.
Okay.
That's what I think it was.
Yeah, didn't they used to brew with corn syrup? Some marketing guy was like, hey, you know what? We could probably save a few dollars and go to rice syrup, and then if we get rid of the corn syrup, then we could tell everybody else that they brew with corn syrup, and then they're bad and we're cool because we changed.
That's right.
You know how much I love Budweiser.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I want to transition into with you, but I just found it felt like they were going after the craft beer drinker by targeting that thing, because we're like, oh yeah, don't use those things.
Yeah,
but that's not their audience, so I didn't understand.
It's almost like the woke beer consumer that doesn't buy premium beer.
But cares about corn syrup?
Yeah, I thought it was the stigma of corn syrup.
It was
it was the stigma.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no one cares. No one's cared about that for 5 years.
Right.
Yeah.
No one
this
gives
from a brewery that the world's largest brewery that saying, hey, we shouldn't be fighting. There should be no infighting. And here in the largest venue to market beer, they fire a shot across the bow against the number 2.
Yeah.
Right. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's so strange.
Well, next year it's going to be, the CEO of Miller has chickens, and eggs are very bad for you.
Right.
We don't eat eggs.
Yeah.
They do.
Cholesterol.
Yeah.
He keeps his chickens in cages.
Right. Well, this is a good opportunity to talk about craft and you, because craft and the definition of craft has really become a big part of your life and a mantra of yours. You and I have both had friends over the years that started out as craft and later sold. And you have not been quiet about how much that bothers you.
Yeah. Moi? Me? Quiet? No. Where'd you hear that? Yeah.
Because you really care about what craft is. So
Sure.
I saw you at certain times actually becoming offended by some of that. Do you want to talk about that at all? Like what it means to you when that happens?
Sure. I think as I've gotten older or more mature, I'm not sure which one.
Right.
Because the latter might not be true.
Yeah.
I've probably toned down a little bit in terms of just, being that aggressor in that side. But I'm certainly defensive of craft in a positive way, though. Where when I was in my mid-20s starting the brewery, I was definitely more outspoken, shoot from the hip. I tend to think more about what I say now.
Okay.
But at the same time, my system of values hasn't changed for craft beer. I believe it's about integrity, it's about authenticity, it's about innovation, and to us, about a sense of place.
Yeah.
And, our brewery started because I loved good beer. And when I was traveling to an island that I fell in love with, I learned that the, quote, local beer, Liquid Aloha, Kona Brewing Company, wasn't actually brewed in Hawaii.
Okay.
And to me, coming from San Diego, where we had some epic breweries, I thought that was sacrilege, and I wanted to give Hawaii its own beer.
And it was deceitful in a way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they never came clean about where beer was brewed. Even to this day, they're still not completely honest. Listing 10 cities on the label doesn't say anything,
right?
Because they list the city that it's not brewed in as well,
right?
So I think the integrity behind brand is important because craft beer drinkers do care.
We do. Do you ever worry that because you've been vocal that you've painted yourself into a corner if you ever get that offer that you just can't refuse?
I think about that sometimes,
okay.
And because I came from the finance world. Now, I don't know that I've painted myself in a corner, but I think I've been so vocal that they're like, let's not even fucking ask.
You're right. Okay.
The offer's
just not coming.
Yeah, it's just not coming.
I'm doing you a big favor.
Absolutely, but at the same time, I mean, being a financial advisor, you are absolutely, or in my past life, you're absolutely a capitalist. And, for me, I don't have children. I don't have any legacy to pass down at this point to anyone, or no one to pass it down to. So, for me, a liquidity event of some sort absolutely makes sense if it's the right one for the company.
Sure.
Fortunately, I grew up with nothing, so it's not like I need $1 billion to be happy.
Okay.
So if my team can somehow, ESOP, or maybe there's a lot of other strategies.
Sure.
I think I like to think I'd take the one of the highest integrity rather than the highest dollar.
Yeah, understood.
There are days, though. I caveat. There are days.
There are days, and the fact is that everybody has a number. People like to say that they don't.
10.
But they, we all know the Brewing Network's number is extremely low.
Really low.
Mostly because I can't count very high.
The biggest number you can think of right now.
But I do like the stance that you've taken, because I do think that it does bring integrity. And there, I don't mind some of the buyouts. I don't have a lot. It's the right thing for certain people. But I will tell you what I do mind. I mind when craft beer has sold a bill of goods to us drinkers. It was us against them. It's small. It's craft. All of those things. And then to flip that completely upside down and go, essentially, thanks for buying into all that, and now I'm the other guy. I just did that. And that's the only part that bothers me. And I guess I just wish that certain people weren't so vocal about that message if it's not how they actually felt.
But we're still cool and smoke pot.
Totally. Yeah. Oh, see, who are we talking about? You're absolutely right, though, because we've seen it time and time again. I don't fault any of my friends. And unfortunately, I have to say my past friends that have sold their breweries. With the exception of maybe one or two, we still keep in touch.
Okay.
The ones that stopped texting you or happy birthday, hey, I'm in town, let's grab a beer.
Yeah.
I might not go out and buy one of your beers, but I don't care that you sold your brewery. You did what was right for you at the time.
Yeah.
But the fact that they are in this woe is me, I'm an outcast, my friends won't talk to me, all this stuff is like, no, you cashed a check, you made a choice.
Yeah, right.
You live with it. And then they
Go buy
pull
new
themselves away from us. So it's like, I didn't outcast you.
Yeah.
You just stopped calling, man.
Yeah.
And that sucks, because that's more the painful part, because this was a relationship.
Okay. Yeah.
By the way, I think Bevo is already pregnant twice. Just
today?
Yeah, just right now.
During this interview?
Yes.
That could happen. But I appreciate your respect for craft beer and what you've done. You're now on the board of directors of the Brewers Association.
Sure. I just got reelected for my second term. So I've served for, this is my third year now, and I'm going, I think 3 more. So I'm on, I chair the Market Development Committee, but I also sit on the board of directors for the Brewers Association. So,
do you think marketing and market development has really become one of Maui's fortes, part of where you found your wheelhouse in the beer world? Because your branding's pretty incredible.
Thank you.
And even like you said, starting with cans so far before most people did. Why do you think you ended up going down that path where you really focused on the branding?
Well, I think if we were building a brand and a brewery based on its locale, that authenticity and integrity needed to be there. So
it made sense.
We want you to feel like you are in Maui every time you crack a can of Maui Brewing Company beer.
Got it.
It's like the Kolsch that we have here, brewed with starfruit, or pineapple Monowheat, where we use the local Maui Gold pineapple. Beers like Coconut Hiva Porter was the first coconut beer ever produced commercially.
Okay.
We want to bring you back to the islands 12 ounces at a time if you're drinking a can, of course. And pint otherwise. But it was something that we really didn't put a lot into branding initially. We put everything we had into just staying open and brewing beer, brewing the best beer we could.
Were you the brewer?
No. So we had a great guy, Tom Kearns, who I think you've met Tom, actually.
I think so.
So he was our brewmaster when we took over, and he opened Big Island Brew House a couple years later, about 3 years after we opened. But, he taught me everything I knew at that time about brewing and yeast and everything. And fortunately, I'm a quick study, and beer is not hard to fall in love with.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, my job was to immerse myself in the culture, and I did that and learned everything I could. So I didn't really start brewing until we opened our first production brewery in Lahaina.
Did you guys struggle for a couple of years as a brewery?
I absolutely remember thinking that even the busboys made more money than I did, and they got to go to Bali every year. And I'm like, I can't even take a day off, and I don't know how I'm paying my credit cards.
Got it.
So we struggled.
Okay.
I mean, Melanie, my wife and co-founder, she'll tell you that I'm sure we still have back pain from sleeping on the floor because we couldn't afford mattresses.
Wow.
So that was those are some challenging times.
And all of the consumption and sales were happening just out of the brew pub at that point on the island of Maui. So
Absolutely.
Did you have outside accounts?
We didn't. At the time, we could only sell through a wholesaler.
Oh, yeah.
And we were too small. No one wanted to pay any attention to us. So everything else, if you wanted a keg outside the restaurant, even a private party, we would have to break the law to get that keg to you.
Got it. Which I'm sure you never did.
Never. Not one time.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Were there craft beer drinkers in 2005 and 6?
It's a great point. In 2005, when we opened in Hawaii, there actually weren't craft beer wasn't a term used.
It was
we brought craft to Hawaii.
You started a business of something nobody even knew what it was.
Exactly. It was micro brewing was the word that people were still using in Hawaii because we tend to be behind the time in adopting things. But you're right. We had to develop that, and it was all about education and just try the beer.
One customer at a time.
Exactly, and build it just by
one island at a time. Here you are.
Yeah. Absolutely. It exactly was. And back then we couldn't do cans, couldn't do bottles, couldn't do growlers or crowlers.
Wow.
None of these things
you couldn't package your own beer.
No, you couldn't. No, these were all rights that we think we have now are really privileges that, especially in Hawaii, that Tom, myself, and especially the last 13 years myself have spent changing laws in the state of Hawaii to give our industry a way to grow.
Wow.
I think a lot of the young guys sometimes forget that when they go after
Oh, yeah, right?
They show up and it's all there for them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're like your grandpa out there now.
It's crazy. I was 26 when we started. I just had my 40th birthday. I'm on the other side of it. I mean, we were 1,200 breweries when we opened.
Damn. So we started, like we said, at the same time, and I'm basically the same age. I'm slightly older, unfortunately.
Slightly. You have more hair, though.
But I have more hair. But what a struggle. And you had to change laws to actually make it happen. So, people are going to be thanking you for a long time.
No, I hope so.
Right.
Just all you got to do is just drink the beer. I don't need a thank you, pat on the back. I'm not an attaboy guy, but you drink the beer, we'll call it even.
Good enough. Well, we've got more to talk about in terms of how you grown, but why don't we talk about this beer real quick? Because you did just mention it. We're drinking Star Maps, which is it's a Kolsch.
Yeah.
What you said has star fruit in it. I don't even know what star fruit is.
So star fruit's a tropical fruit that it's kind of cylindrical, but it's got like ridges in it. If you cut it 90 degrees or perpendicular to itself, it's shape of a star. So there's 5 points on it. So it's kind of got the texture of a pear, like an Asian pear, but it's got this really tropical, almost not quite juicy fruit, but character like that in the fruit itself. So
not as sugary
as it gets more ripe, almost to the point where it starts to brown a little, just like bananas, they'll get sweeter. But we use them. I mean, you can eat them just straight, slice them up and eat them. You put them on sandwiches. Burgers, they're awesome with, especially when you can grill them and caramelize the sugars. Oh, yeah. That's my college buddy who just showed up.
Nice.
But starfruit's a really unique flavor, and most people have never heard of a starfruit, let alone tried one. So our buddies down at Smog City, Lori and Jonathan, the entire team down there, fantastic people, as you know.
Yeah,
they're great.
We got together to brew this beer as a celebration of our friendship and bringing the two breweries together.
I love this beer.
Great beer. You guys did a good job.
And it's very, very Kolsch-like.
Yes.
I don't know that I would have picked out that you added fruit to it. It's a subtle
background.
Beardy spent a lot of time trying to perfect a Kolsch.
Yeah.
He brought me a lot of samples. Don't you think it's really authentic Kolsch, too?
I think that it does a really good job balancing out actually having the beer be a flavor and contributor and the fruit, like to almost where the fruit is almost just blending in like a yeast character.
Okay,
you get a little bit
or a tropical hop even.
Or a tropical hop, but not crazy dry hopped, but just like a
nuanced. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Just in a low level.
Yeah, to where I wouldn't assume that there was a tropical fruit in this.
Right.
Yeah.
I think for me too, Kolsch is like one of my favorite styles of beer.
Yeah.
Especially if you ever go to Cologne and drink Kolsch, and you have the whole the romp and circumstance around it all, and the way it's served is just amazing. So when it comes to Kolsch, I'm such a purist that this was a challenge in my head, but my team They're the best. I always say this. I have the best team in the world. Every year it gets better and better. And without them, we wouldn't be who we are today. And so I have to trust them. And as much as I might be a purist about Kolsch, they did a bang up job with this beer.
I think they nailed it. Yeah. The fermentation is perfect.
Yeah.
There's not a thing wrong with how that fermented, which is, and I think Kolsch, to make it good, that's key. Yeah. Every beer, of course.
Time.
But Kolsch in itself, gosh, it just has to be right.
Yeah.
What format did the starfruit go in, and how was that used?
Starfruit was pureed and chopped up and put in bags into secondary. So and we're not doing any. I always say when we brew with fruit, we're not making juice that tastes like beer.
Yeah.
We're making a beer, and we want to highlight flavors. We want to nuance that beer with the fruit or the spice or nut or vegetable.
Yeah, you want an essence.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
exactly. And that's something. Even our coconut Hiva Porter, the OG coconut beer, as I like to call it, isn't in your face coconut, cloying, and sweet. We will not use extracts in our beers. We only use the real fruit, and it makes for a better beer. Costs a little more, but it's supporting a local farmer or showcasing a fruit that maybe people just have never seen before. Like I said, starfruit. We've done it with breadfruit. We've done Maui onions even.
Wow.
Anything that grows in Hawaii, we've tended to play with a little bit.
Nice.
What the hell does breadfruit taste like?
Breadfruit's almost exactly like the flavor that originally created juicy fruit, because that's a jackfruit. It's the same family.
All right.
But breadfruit is one of the most amazing things ever. Imagine tropical, almost pineapple, banana-y pizza dough.
Oh.
Yeah, right?
Bev, calm down.
That sounds kind of
Done.
amazing.
Sign me up.
Bevo's hungry again.
It's pretty crazy.
I can get fiber and carbs. Let's do this.
Done.
Yeah, it's you can fry it and make dough balls. You can make chips with it when it's on the ripe side. When it's mature and all gummy,
I'm moving to Maui.
Fry them as dough balls and roll them in sugar, and they're fantastic.
Wow.
God bless.
Yeah. Well, since you mentioned it too, let's talk about the coconut porter. Now, the one we have in our glass is the Imperial Coconut Porter. But were you the first to make a coconut porter?
We were. As far as I know, I have not come across anyone who has made a coconut beer commercially packaged and distributed before us.
Okay.
And of course, I don't know. Maybe someone on your show will find someone who. That'd be great to know the fact. But I mean, when we were looking in 2005, no one was brewing a coconut beer.
Well, in Vermont, Bill's AAA garage towing and brake alignment brewery
and sushi,
had this man brewing beer. Occasionally.
Yeah.
And he did a coconut.
He put one coconut in.
Well, he made it in a coconut. But it was a single serving. So you order and you come back a month later and you drink it.
And he served it in the coconut.
He served it in the coconut. Here you go.
Yeah.
It was green.
You're right.
It's actually funny you say that. I told this story on one of my first sales trips to the mainland. This had to be like 07, probably 08 when we first started selling in the mainland. And I go to this store, bottle shop, and the guy says, I have a coconut beer here. I was like, no, you don't. I'm pretty sure you don't. So he goes in the back and he's rummaging through clearly coated whatever.
Okay.
And he pulls out this clear bottle, and the liquid inside is white. And it says on it, it's like cocoa something or other. I don't even remember. We didn't have cameras on our phones back then.
Right, yeah. So, your flip phone didn't. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and it was this milky looking, like, extract, FMB, whatever. And I said, this is not beer.
Yeah. Hands down.
Ours.
I was drinking beer when I extracted this from it.
So I am not the biggest fan of adjuncts and fruited beers. Not against it, just my palate, I mean.
Sure.
Your coconut porter, though, is one of the only beers consistently always I have enjoyed. It's one of the ones I step outside of my purity box for.
Sure.
It's really well done. And I wanted to bring up that, so now you have an even larger production facility in Kihei, which I want to talk about. But I remember walking into that large facility you were giving me a tour that day. I just wanted to come check it out. And you were still baking coconut
Yep, hand toasting.
Hand toasting. So here Maui has Garrett's a big boy now. He's grown up.
Yeah.
He's got a massive, a nice production facility, and you're still small batch toasting your coconut in the, and it smells amazing, by the way.
It does.
Those days that you do that.
Yeah.
That you've stuck to that.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can't make a better beer by pouring some flavor number 10 into a vat of beer.
This beer smells amazing.
It's hand toasted coconut, and it's the labor. What you smell and what you taste is the love of the team that spends hours toasting more than 12,000 pounds of coconut every quarter to make our various coconut beers.
I was shocked when they pointed to the oven in the corner right under the brew house. Like,
right?
That's the oven that all of the coconut goes through.
Same.
Like, that?
Wow.
Like, that little one over there?
And I wouldn't even, you guys don't even go crazy marketing that. You don't have to, because the beer tastes that way. I was actually just surprised to smell it. When I walked in, I'm like, are you shitting me? They're actually toasting coconuts right now.
It's like Disneyland, dude. They pump the smell in.
Oh, yeah.
And then they put the tray in the oven, and then there's a false wall that someone pulls the tray out.
Yeah.
It's a whole gag, dude.
Magic of TV.
And you fell for it.
Yeah, right? Idiot. Well, listen, that effort to me is kind of the equivalent of like Sierra Nevada sticking to whole flower hops.
Yeah.
With the amount of beer that they brew, it is ridiculous that they've stuck to whole flower hops.
Yeah.
But Ken decided, no, that's really important to what our beer tastes like. And I just think that's kind of an equivalent for you. This was one of your startup beers, and you're like, no, that's the only way to get that flavor.
Yeah, we've been brewing this beer since our very first year in operation.
Okay.
And for a long time, it was the only coconut beer out there. And, of course, I like to say often imitated, never duplicated.
Yeah.
Not to say I haven't had some good ones.
Sure.
But I have had some very, very bad ones.
Yeah.
And
like, what would make it like too sweet?
Too sweet, too cloying, too in your face with the coconut. I call it copper tone. The suntan copper tone effect, suntan lotion. That's not what you want your beer to taste like. I think the bad part is that as beer has grown in popularity, I think the educated beer drinking public knows, but the ones that just have an opinion and the power of a blog, they may hate on coconut porter because there's not enough coconut for them, and they compare it to other coconut beers, and I'm just like, but that's all extract, and it's missing the point. What we created was a robust porter, because I love that style of beer.
Yep.
And we wanted to round out that finish with some toasted nutty coconut beauty. And it wasn't about being in your face. It was about to highlight a killer style of beer.
Well, I think you need the depth, especially for something like coconut, which people think of it as one-dimensional. But if you have the actual product and you've toasted it and you've changed it chemically, you're going to get much more fullness and much deeper flavors than just what you think of as coconut.
Yeah.
It's just like oak chips versus oak cubes versus a barrel.
And because in some ways, coconut's just too easy. Right,
yeah.
Like it's a strong flavor. Everybody recognizes it. Very few people dislike it. But I think you're right. If you have to get those other components, otherwise it's just like an easy. Oh yeah, it tastes like coconut. Thanks.
Right.
But you back to what you said even about your other beer. You want beer flavored beer.
Yeah.
And then put something else in it.
Absolutely.
So can we talk about the process? So
Sure.
you have fresh coconuts.
So we get coconut chips.
Coconut chips.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they go into an oven.
Yeah, we toast them in an oven. We have a wonderful brewer, Dana. She walked in the other day, and this is early in the morning. We had a safety meeting, and she's toasting coconut. And I think when I was leaving that day, she was still toasting coconut. I was like, Dana, you're still toasting? She's like, I'm almost done.
Wow.
But it was like 7 hours later. She's still toasting, standing right there. She's a trooper. But, it's proud to see because our team believes in doing it the right way.
Okay.
But yeah, we take the chips, we toast them to a brunette, kind of light blonde flavor, the kind of color, and then we put them into bags, and then we recirculate our finished beers on them. We found a long time ago that putting it in the mash, as beautiful and sexy as that was, really didn't help. It didn't translate through fermentation.
Okay.
Because it used to be in every stage. It was mash, then it was a hop back on the way to the fermenter, and then also in secondary. And as we evolved and started to trial different ways, it just made more sense to circulate in the secondary. And that's what we do now.
So the beer is finished, and then you have a hop back type of device where you just then recirculate the beer.
Yeah, basically it's a 40-barrel bright that has a pump mounted to it with sacks of coconut inside.
Got it.
So we're actually designing a vessel specifically for that, but we haven't pulled the trigger on it yet.
Okay.
Trying to make it easier, but at the same time,
you need a toasting machine to make it easier.
We're working on that too. I drew up a couple ideas, but we haven't gotten there yet. So,
right.
yeah.
Does the toasting
For Dana, got to get every day off once in a while.
I know.
Does the toasting help with sanitizing the coconut so that way you can just add it to the finished beer?
Exactly, and also you're kind of drying out a little bit some of the oils, so you don't kill the head retention as much.
Okay.
I mean, it's still a hard beer to maintain any sort of head on, but the toasting definitely helps. And this is the Imperial Coconut Porter too. So this is 9.4% ABV, twice the amount of coconut. Yeah, you get a lot of that chocolate and mocha character, but that coconut in the aroma and then that finish is just unmistakable.
That aroma is amazing.
Yeah,
that is a bang up aroma.
Yeah,
and it's
I love
the
it.
same toasting procedure for the Imperial, just
Absolutely.
more of it.
Just more of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost smells like it's like a bitter chocolate with toasted coconut. It doesn't. It doesn't even. To me, it doesn't even smell like a beer. If you just put that under my nose, I wouldn't think that was a liquid that I could drink.
Okay. Yeah. More like a food.
Yeah. Which is great.
Yeah.
And how many pounds at a time are you even roasting? 'Cause you're saying your brewer's there till what's her name? D? As I said,
That was Dana. That particular one that day. Yeah.
She's there till late at night. They're just having to do this all day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's we're usually trying to toast around 1,000 pounds at a time in a shift.
In a shift, right?
Because we're trying to gang run it so that we have enough coconut to make either a batch of coconut Hiva porter, Imperial coconut porter,
right?
And toasting it fresh makes a difference as well.
Right.
Those oils will oxidize, and that will translate if you're not careful.
Okay. And the reason I'm sort of bringing that up too is because since I described walking in and smelling the smell and then seeing the ovens, I don't want people to think that you have some massive oven where all of this goes in once. No, they're like small
It's just a hotel pan.
ovens.
Anybody who's ever worked in a kitchen in a restaurant knows a hotel pan. It's maybe 2 feet by 18 inches wide. And you just put a layer of coconut down, and you can't just put it in and then pull it out and done. You have to be rotating the trays and then using spatulas to fluff the coconut so that you're not just toasting the top. You got to toast all the way around the chip.
Yeah.
And that is a challenge.
You are lucky that your staff gives a shit.
Yeah.
Because I would be like, Garrett, leave me alone. This is ridiculous.
You know what? We always say that. You can't teach passion and you can't teach give a shit.
Yeah.
Those are things that if you want to make great beer, those two things just have to be in you already. And if you have those, the rest we can teach you.
Right.
And I'm blessed to have, Team NBC, as I like to say. And it's grown to be a large team now. But it is one big ohana that make Maui Brewing what it is.
Very nice. Well, before we have to take a break, let's just quickly, you're doing a bunch of other versions of this, though, too. You were telling me about some other ingredients you're even going to put in. Can we just kind of cover that?
Sure, yeah. Some out there listening probably have had Black Pearl. Black Pearl was Imperial coconut porter aged in local rum barrels.
Oh, man.
At the time, I think the first one we did was probably 07, 08, and it was the first coconut porter aged and the first rum barrel aging as far as we know at that time. And local rum was something that was really just starting out in terms of true local distilling.
Okay.
That distillery has since closed, so we had to bring in rum barrels, unfortunately. But we're still taking the same Imperial coconut porter, aging it in the rum barrel, and then bottling that as a special edition. Then we have one called Cocoa Bean. It's a collaboration with Manoa Chocolate and a local Maui vanilla company. So it'll be vanilla beans and cocoa pods, or cacao nibs. Local. And then we have one I'm really excited about, and it's actually coming out at the end of the year because it's still a work in progress, is Imperial coconut porter aged with or brewed with haupia malasadas.
What is that?
A malasada is a donut. It's like a round donut that you fill with custard and haupia.
Is this a Hawaiian food?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think its influence is mainly like Filipino. But then it's rolled in sugar. So we're still trying to figure out how to get the actual donut into the beer. So that's why that one's at. Yeah, it will be mashed for sure. And I'm hoping we've find a way to do that effectively.
But not corn syrup. Don't fucking use corn syrup, dude, 'cause I'll be real mad.
No extracts will be used in this beer. We will,
Can you push one into a can and then just fill the can with beer?
Like a widget, like the Guinness widget?
I think I had that. It was a milkshake IPA of some sort. It blew up as I was about to drink it.
Well, and I was thinking, like, just to actually have it with the beer too. Instead of the orange or the lime, can you stick the donut on the rim of the glass?
I'm sure that's going to be the way we probably serve it. Yeah.
God bless you.
You should like cinnamon and sugar, rim the glass like a margarita.
Shit.
Yeah.
That'd be
Pour
too
that
much.
beer in there? That'd be great.
In between, we've got flat white version, which is a coffee reference. And our brewmaster, Kim, her wife, Heather, was a master roaster in the mainland. And so we've started Origin Coffee as a partnership with her. And so we're using that locally roasted coffee in the Imperial Coconut Porter to really drive those coffee notes up. And then the fourth version is Dolce, salted caramel. So we're going to really try to highlight, of course, this is Imperial Coconut Porter at its base, but then bring in all these other cool flavors to make just those, nice high gravity, beautiful beer with a lot of different nuances of flavor. And hopefully we can do, people will collect them and do the flights over the year because it'll certainly last.
That's what I was going to ask. Are those going to be bombers then? Or
750 ml. So we chose the champagne bottle.
Okay, nice.
I think it's just a little bit higher end for the beer. And we've been doing limited releases of 750s for a few years now. Liquid Breadfruit was one. That was originally brewed as a collaboration with Dogfish. Black Pearl we've done. St. Damien's coming out this year as well. It's a Belgian Dark Strong aged in barrels. So, yeah.
That sounds great.
We kind of painted ourselves in the corner with coconut. So we figured we'd celebrate it.
Yeah.
Just widen that corner. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, why not go for it? I like
we
that
are
idea.
going to corner the coconut beer market.
Yeah. Actually, literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go to Hawaii right now and try all these beers.
I know.
I noticed the body in your porter is it's nice bodied. It's not over bodied.
Whoa, tasty.
Medium body.
Yeah.
How do you do that? What do you
Honestly, I don't know that it's...
You just get great attenuation without having to...
This is a house ale yeast. It's Cal, so we're not doing anything crazy. It's the same beer yeast that we use for IPA and most of our beers. The only yeast that we really do different right now, we have a whole bank of yeast for limiteds, but our house ale strain is the Cal Ale, and then we use that for pineapple mana, for Big Swell, and for coconut porter. And then we have a special yeast we use for... Pauhana Pilsner, like a true Pilsner yeast, and then Bikini Blonde Lager as well. So a true lager yeast for that. So I think it's just a well attenuated beer. The body.
The porter is easy drinking. The body doesn't wear you out.
Yeah, in this one too, I think you get a little bit more viscosity in the body from the coconut oils, the massive amount of coconut that get contributed to this. So you can see it's got that little ring of head, but this beer is never going to have a big, thick, creamy top.
Oh, no, it's quite a bit of head for any beer.
Yeah.
Do you sell the porter ever without the coconut in it?
We never have. That I don't think that idea's ever come up, but that's fantastic.
Wait, you're not being honest.
No,
it's never
made a porter. Did you know porter?
You know why? Because it's a stupid idea.
You know I'm an ideas man, Justin.
Yeah, I know. With your dumb ideas, Beardy. They have nailed it on this thing. I feel like if you were to put it out without it, people would be like, thanks, that's boring.
You know what you should do? A Reinheitsgebot beer.
Yeah.
But no, one thing we are looking at right now is the Imperial or the Coconut Hiva Porter on nitro in cans.
Okay.
We feel that might be pretty cool to we just want to see what happens, and that's something fun that we're putting in a nitro doser for that purpose as well, and for cold brew coffee, of course.
Nice.
But yeah. It is funny that I don't think we've ever had just a porter.
I mean, maybe just from the beer nerd side, to be able to taste that recipe and side by side it, like this is with coconut and this is without.
Now, I've tasted our porter without coconut in it before, but it's never been released. It's because we are just making a porter and then recirculating on the coconut. So in between, it's absolutely doable to try.
Yeah. Even at the brewery or something, just have on tap, people could side by side.
No, I'm telling you, absolutely not. Now,
it's like a child being born without a soul.
I don't disagree with the premise of the Beer Geek and trying them both.
However, who said the idea?
The marketing person in me knows that you're shooting yourself in the face by taking your wonderful beer and removing the wonderfulness and letting people try that. Don't let them try that. You're like revealing your bag of tricks by letting them try that.
It's like buying.
You could have two wonderful things.
No,
it's like buying
there's no such thing.
No,
I've tried it.
It's like buying a primer gray Tesla.
You would never. Yeah.
You would never do it.
That's right.
That's a stupid thing to
A
do.
beautiful car that you just shit all over.
Right.
Until you see that flat gray Tesla rolling down. Everybody wants one.
Yeah, it'll be beardies. I do have to get us to a break because we've got some more beer to try. So we're going to do that real quick. If you want to learn more about beer and become a great brewer yourself, you should go check out Brewers Publications. It's the largest and most complete collection of brewing books in the world. Whether brewing is your weekend hobby or your day job, Brewers Publications is your go-to source for all things beer and brewing. Go check them out at brewerspublications.com and browse their beer books. Some of the hosts of our Brewing Network shows have written those beer books.
Not me.
So go check it. Not JP.
Not me.
He may have written a foreword.
I should read them sometime.
That's right. All right, we're going to come back with Garrett and Maui Brewing Company in just a couple minutes. This is The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, their amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer, whether for yourself or as a gift. When you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on two gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
Hey, this is Gabriel from Half Acre in Chicago. You're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
All right, welcome back to the program. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, as always. We are still sitting and hanging out and drinking beer with Garrett Marrero from Maui Brewing Company.
Aloha.
Now, Garrett mentioned that one of their house yeasts is that beautiful Cal Ale from our good friends and sponsor over at White Labs. If you want to learn more about the microbes responsible for making sour and farmhouse beers, join White Labs at their San Diego, California facility, or online through their live webcast, which is happening March 12th, for their Sour Beer Essentials Workshop. The class will explore the finer points of fermenting sour beer, intricacies of handling the yeast and bacteria, and history and traditions of these beers, and so much more. For more info, go to whitelabs.com/education. That's whitelabs.com/education. And I'm just going to add this tagline in for them. I think that world-class brewers use White Labs.
Oh, damn, dude.
Like Garrett,
I use White Labs.
I think so.
Yeah, well, okay. Most world-class brewers use White Labs.
And others.
Yeah. So go check them out. You know the White Labs have been supporting us for a long time, so do that. All right. So we do have some more beer in front of us, but I wanted to talk about another aspect of Maui that I think's been important to you. Were you born in Hawaii?
I was not. I was born in San Diego, actually.
Are you Hawaiian?
I am not.
Okay, so
I'm Puerto Rican, so I'm from an island. And, Puerto Rican, Peruvian, and German.
I see.
Yeah.
And German.
Yeah,
That's
got a little bit of everything.
It's a fucking great mix.
Yeah.
Good food and good beer.
Good food and good beer, exactly.
So you fell in love with Maui like so many people do and moved there.
Yep.
But you've really, this is part of the reason I asked, is I feel like you've really bought in, doesn't sound like the right word, but you've embraced that kind of island culture and sustainability and what it means to be from an island and protect the island.
Sure.
So now, like sustainability practices, which there are a lot of breweries who talk about that, but you guys are pretty unique at it. Not only, I want to talk about some of the sustainability things, but you guys are almost entirely off the grid. Is that the right way?
Grid independent, technically, because we are connected to the grid.
Okay,
but we will be grid independent next quarter.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll produce 100% of our electricity on site.
You're shit. So how big is the production facility?
So the building. The building itself is about 80,000 square feet, and then under awning, we have an additional probably 20,000 square feet or so.
And how many barrels is the brewery?
This year, we'll produce a little over 60,000 barrels. So,
and you're saying to me that on that piece of property, you're going to be able to produce all the energy that you need.
Yeah. So the acreage, we have about 5.3 acres. We have a 1.2 megawatt solar array. So I don't know how many panels that is, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
The average panel size is, I think, 325 watt. So, 1.2 megawatts, call it about 4,000 panels-ish.
Okay.
But a lot is, what I use as a term. But we're backed up by Tesla power packs. So we have 3.5 megawatt hours of battery storage.
Okay.
Which is, again, a lot.
How many of those can I ask how many power packs you have?
We have 3 phases. Phase 1 came in about 2 years ago, and that was 900 kilowatt hours. That had 9 cabinets with it that are batteries.
Okay.
Phase 2 came in 6 months later. It was 1.1 megawatt hours of storage, and that had 4 cabinets.
Okay.
And it was 20% cheaper. The technology
as it catches up.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
The technology in just months is changing in storage solutions. So about 3.5 megawatt hours of battery storage, and then that is backed up by biodiesel generators, dual Cummins 275 kW peak demand generators using biodiesel produced on island from Pacific Biodiesel.
Now, tell me, is the reasoning behind that? Okay, so it's tropical island, obviously. Is that because, look, it could go a week without sunshine, and you're not going to be able to get to power up those batteries? Is that why you have to have the backup?
No, so the backup is more that because we're a for-profit business, so we have to uptime is a paramount concern.
Sure.
So if there was an issue with batteries or with the solar, we can direct feed from the generators while we cure those issues. Now, someone may say, "Oh, well, you could just go to the grid," and that is true. We have that as an even a further backup option to the generators. But the way the demand charges work, they're highly punitive. I liken it to charging for air.
Yeah,
it's already there, but we're going to charge you just to have it available.
Right.
And the way the numbers worked out, it was made more sense for us to buy biodiesel and run our own generators than even use the grid.
Okay.
Additionally, on Maui, the way electricity is generated in large part is through fossil fuel. So if our backup goes to fossil fuel, then we're not really...
You're not so green anymore.
Exactly. We start, and it would be for... Hopefully never happens, but let's be real. At some point, we're going to have
never's
to
a long
fire.
time. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So we want to be able to celebrate our energy independence. Yeah. If you've ever been to Hawaii, as you know, it's a beautiful place.
Why leave everything there? Yeah.
Yeah. We want to keep everything as beautiful and pristine as possible, and I think. Us alone, we're not going to change the world in terms of, whether we were grid connected or not, in terms of, environmental concerns. But we're leading by example. We're saying you can be everything you say you are. You can have integrity. You can brew locally, authentic Hawaiian craft beer. You can do it responsibly and leave very little footprint behind, and you can be profitable. Our Governor Ige, has set a goal for Hawaii as 2045 to be 100% sustainably produced energy.
That's what I thought, that the whole island was going to, the whole state was going to try to do that. Yeah.
Exactly.
2045, is that
2045, yeah.
Okay,
so we're just trying to do it about 25, 26 years earlier, because we believe we can do it, and we're proving that. Right now, about 35% of our energy comes from the sun. Next month, 80% of our energy will come from PV, and then the next quarter, phase 3 will be commissioned, and over 100% of our energy will be available from solar energy.
That's crazy.
Are you going to be the one to turn off the last main breaker?
Oh, yeah.
To disconnect
I
the
want
brewery?
that, but I think I'm going to let my CFO do that, because
Okay.
he writes the check every month for the electric bill.
You'll be the most happy.
You felt the most pain?
And that is another part. I love the idea that we are sustainably minded and that we think we're doing the right thing, the right reasons. But let's face it, the more that we can protect our company and control our rising costs, right? We can't control what's happening with grain or hops or shipping, but we can control our utilities. And if we make the right investments, it's doing the right thing for the environment, but at the same time protecting our bottom line, which is my ultimate job, is to make sure that my team's paychecks cash in perpetuity.
Sure. Yeah.
And so it creates a solid foundation for us to build our team on. And
but even that's a long game, isn't it? Like, have you calculated your return on investment on these things and how many? Because in other words, you could have, I'm going to guess, you're saying that you're trying to set this example that you could be profitable and do these things.
Mm-hmm.
However, you probably could have bought 5 Teslas and maybe a bigger mansion than Oprah for what you spent on what you invested in this energy. So. You see what I'm getting at here?
Absolutely.
You could have been more profitable. You would be a richer man, right?
You could have sent a Tesla to Jupiter.
Yeah, you're right. You would be a richer man.
Yeah.
So how long before you get that money back?
So with tax credits and everything, I'd say it's just under 8 years or so.
Okay.
But being able to accurately predict our energy costs over those 8 years is still even more powerful than having up and down of energy surcharges.
Right.
So for the next 8 years, while we're paying a fixed loan payment, we know what our energy costs are no matter what moving forward. There's going to be some variability based on how much we have to fire biodiesel.
Okay.
But it'll be what we would say Manini or small kind compared to the fluctuation of our local utility. And there are fantastic tax credits available.
Okay.
We could have probably installed this system in a little under 2 years, and it's taken us almost 4. But that's because we had to phase things in to maximize our tax credits.
I see.
So although we believe we're doing the right thing for the right reasons, we also are very fiscally minded and responsible with that.
The only way it can happen is to be that way. If you don't do that, you're nothing.
Exactly. And I think I've got a great team behind us on that. My CFO equally is passionate about sustainable energy and doing the right thing for the environment. I ride an electric motorcycle. My wife drives an electric car.
I got an electric car. I'm with you, man.
I have a F-150 Raptor that sucks down gas right now.
You're carbon neutral.
But I'm like Dennis Miller. I'm just trying to help us run out of oil so we fix it.
Okay, that's a good call.
Okay.
No, really, though, I put a deposit down on, I don't know if you've seen it, but you're going to want to look it up, is Rivian. It's an electric truck developed in San Francisco.
It's amazing.
I just put a deposit on one of those because I want to be like, I don't want to use any fossil fuel. And I hate plastic water bottles too, so like I'm big into that. But I think our company is just founded on sustainability, and we're just going to continue to show that you can do it, and it's the right thing.
Okay. I'm actually building a car out of plastic water bottles right now.
Well, at least you're reusing.
It's a diesel car.
Wait, this is important though. After all this time and you're investing in these things for the future, have you bought you and your wife a comfortable, nice mattress?
We did.
Since sleeping on. Okay, good.
Tempur-Pedic.
Oh, good.
Yes,
so you went all in.
Yes,
okay.
went all in.
Okay.
It is a little old. I think there's like a divot on my side.
Oh, it's time.
Yeah, I'm like they got times their weight.
She's like Rivian, bro. How about another mattress?
Yeah. Well, I think Tempur-Pedic has a 20-year warranty.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
I'm going to have to check into that.
So check it out.
You know what it's going to say? You know what the bottom line of the warranty is going to say? Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Yeah, exactly.
This offer not available in Alaska and Hawaii.
That's true. Right. You're right.
But two, we've invested in CO2 recovery. So we're capturing CO2 off of fermentation. You guys know what CO2 costs here, which is cheap compared to us. If you're a startup brewery in Hawaii, you're paying more than $1 a pound for CO2.
Why is that? I understand why things that have to be imported are more expensive. Why is CO2 more expensive?
So they produce it from the petroleum plants over on where they process or refineries over on Oahu. But it's one company who makes CO2.
I see. Okay.
And to avoid monopoly, they sell it to another company. So there's essentially a duopoly in sales.
Okay.
So we invested in a CO2 recovery system that we were partners in developing. So it's a containerized solution. So we're able to capture, right now, about 50% of our CO2 is being provided by the CO2 recovery system.
Another investment that over the long run just pays off.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, that alone adds $400,000 or so to the bottom line every year.
Wow.
And so, you know, when you have an investment that pays back in less than a year and a half, it's a no-brainer investment.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus, 1 million pounds of CO2 the first year that didn't go into the environment.
Yeah, good call.
You know, that's again, it's weird that I think because such high cost of production in Hawaii, these investments actually pay at the same time. They're fiscally and environmentally responsible.
Right.
And it's like,
it's kind of amazing that it's so difficult to get other companies to buy into this sort of thing because the math just works. I mean, I've oftentimes thought, well, maybe I'm just a bleeding heart liberal, right? But then people smarter than me do the math, and they're like, it doesn't matter if you're a bleeding heart liberal. It actually makes sense.
Sure.
You get to calculate everything. You get to save money. $400,000 a year. Jesus. Like, it just makes sense. So I don't understand why it's become so difficult for people to buy into that.
Yeah.
But how many trees died because you cut out like 5% of the CO2 generated on Maui?
Yeah. Okay. Good
I think
point.
there's plenty of CO2 in the environment.
Okay.
Wait. Also, though, with that, did you see my bar top?
I did not yet. I've had the lovely Bevo giving me beer all night. I haven't had to go to the bar.
So at both here and Fort Collins, it's Monkey Pod.
Oh, nice.
So I totally stole a couple of your trees.
That's totally cool.
From the island.
There was one missing.
So yeah. So Garrett and I are both. He's doing a lot more than me in terms of good things, but we're both killing the trees on the island. Right.
Well, good. There's a lot of trees on that island. I mean, come on. There's a lot of green, dude.
And half of it's a rainforest, for God's sake. It's fine.
Oprah needs to add a pool house. Trees are going to come down.
Yeah,
that's right.
We have, one of the visions that we have for our company, too, is, of course, to be stewards of the community and to be a resource. You know, the island we live on, the state we live in, has afforded us a lot of great things and I attribute a lot of our success to the people of Hawaii. Yeah. If we weren't who we said we were in the beginning, if we didn't stay true to our principles, we most certainly wouldn't be who we are today. At some point, we are going to have some sort of a natural disaster. We had, I think 3 shots on goal, if you will, hurricanes last August. And it was like, this one's coming, this one, every time. Right. And at some point, we are going to get hit. We are going to lose power. We will be able to fire up the brewery on battery or biodiesel, can water, and get it out to the community. We will be a resource where we can put food in our fridges and keep it cold so it doesn't go bad.
That's awesome.
We can provide shelter. We can do things that we wouldn't be able to do if we had not invested in these programs. So I don't wish for that day to happen because, of course, it would never be good. Right. But we know at some point it will happen, and we can be there for our community.
Plan for the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like such a terrible person during this interview. I'm such a horrible person. I haven't done anything to help anybody ever.
It's such a horrible. That's why you're friends with Garrett.
I know.
It's the proximity of niceness.
That's my carbon neutral effect. I can continue to be a douchebag by having friends like this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Basically,
it was not my goal, but okay. I got you.
You have douche credits.
I have douche. Exactly. Those are my carbon credits.
I was just going to say those are carbon credits.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's a thing.
Thank you, Bevo. Shut up. Your microphone's not working. All right, I'm getting us behind here. There's so much to talk about. You're going to have to come back.
Sure.
I want to quickly mention, and then I want to get into these beers so we can do that too. But okay, so when we started with your history, you opened in Lahaina, and then you had a production facility.
Yep.
Now we've talked about the Kihei production facility, but you also just opened a brand new restaurant at that facility.
Yep.
Which is massive, right?
Yeah.
How big is that restaurant?
The restaurant's about 8,500 square feet.
God
yeah, it's not small.
Well, the Hot Grenade, including our patios, is like 2,500-ish. That was a long time. You did that in phases.
Yeah, so we started with the brewery. It was crazy. I remember having a planning meeting. It was a construction meeting with the contractor on something about the brewery side, but then the restaurant side started coming in. It was about an ice machine, and I lost my shit. I was like, I can't even think about an ice machine right now. And so we scrapped the brew pub plans and just left it as an open, plain vanilla space for special events and honestly barrel storage.
Wow.
And then just focused on the brewery. Came back about 2 years later, 3 years maybe, somewhere like blocked a lot of that time out.
Yeah.
To open the restaurant. But that was our third restaurant location, Kihei. And
Okay.
we opened Waikiki in the middle.
Okay, yep.
And that one is just shy of 19,000 square feet.
God damn it.
In Waikiki. So that one's a big one.
That sounds expensive.
Waikiki it's a restaurant. So full restaurant, full bar, everything. We don't brew there. But Waikiki, if you've ever been, is a very busy area.
Yeah.
We're right on the main drag in Kalakaua. So we have Maui Brewing Company Kahana was our original location. Maui Brewing Company Waikiki. Then we opened the Kihei restaurant at the production brewery. And then we just opened last month our Kailua location, also on Oahu, but in Kailua town.
Okay.
So we have the 4, and that's enough for right now. There's my goal is no construction 2019.
Yeah, good call.
So,
I like how you have to have that New Year's resolution.
Yeah. Right,
Wait,
so I'll lose more hair.
I'm hung up on 19,000 square feet.
Right. I think we see 550 or 500 or so right now.
Was that new construction?
No, it was an old Margaritaville.
Oh, right. Okay. I was just trying to, I was like, what was it? Like a men's warehouse? I don't even know.
So it's in the Waikiki Beachcomber.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful hotel, just getting renovated as well right now. And we're really stoked on that location as well.
God damn it. You're
in a hotel.
Look at you. He's doing great. You're doing great. Look at you.
Well,
you went from sleeping on the
myself,
floor.
that's for sure.
With
sleeping on a mattress.
To sleeping on a mattress. You've done it all.
Yeah, look at you. I have a mattress. So
It's true.
You didn't do a cot in between? You just went right to the mattress?
I actually did get a blow-up mattress in between. Our neighbor saw us sleeping on the floor when he would walk by, and he's like, "We had every towel we owned laid out on the living room floor.
This is ridiculous."
And he's like, "I have this. You can blow it up and use it."
Oh my God!
Damn, dude,
that is kind.
He's now the CFO.
My wife would tell you though. It's funny that we went from towels to the air mattress, and then when we finally saved up enough money to buy a mattress, it was $75, and we bought it out of like a penny saver. It's called the Maui Bulletin.
Okay,
used. We walk into this house, and we'll use the term crack house because it's appropriate.
Fair, okay.
And I remember, like, Melanie and I had to pick up this mattress and walk out with it. And I'm like, babe, you stay closest to the door. If anything happens, you run.
Right.
Yeah.
You got an exit strategy.
We had to air it out on the lanai for like 3 weeks and Febreze it every day to make it usable.
What a success
So when we bought our
story.
firt fucking mattress, we felt really good.
I bet you did.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, dude.
Did you put it on a credit card though when you bought it?
Probably.
Gotta get those miles. Gotta get those points, dude.
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, now listen. You don't have to give me the numbers, but I want. If
But your social security number.
Well, you were a finance guy beforehand, and when you're talking about these projects, these restaurants, these breweries, these are major, expensive. Also, things are expensive to do in Hawaii. You're taking on a lot of debt.
Absolutely.
So as you do, so you must have felt thankful that you had this finance background, that you can look at these things and go, I'm not terrified that I just took, I'm going to call it, $2 million in debt to open this 20,000 square foot restaurant because I know how things are going to go. Do you see what I'm saying? Like a lot of business owners, especially in the brewing world, they were just a fucking home brewer and whatever else they were. And now they're trying to figure out how to run a business.
Sure.
You have been able to manage debt and risk and expand like this.
Well, I think we were fortunate that we had the finance backgrounds and just really operating it like a real business as opposed to, a hobby.
A hobby, yeah.
Beer was obviously our core. That's what we wanted to be. But it was essentially from a guy who has an economics degree, it's a widget. And I hate to boil it down to that simplicity because it's something I'm extremely passionate about.
You can do both.
You have to remove the emotion.
One side of the business, you got to think of it that way.
Exactly. You have to remove emotion from those business decisions. And like our good friend Sam Calagione says, it's the kind of money that it doesn't wake you up. It doesn't keep you up at night. The borrowing this kind of money, it wakes you out of your fucking sleep.
Okay.
You'll wake up and be like, oh my God, what did I do?
Get to work.
Yeah.
But it does. It makes you work that much harder because you were unwilling to fail because you just can't.
It would be epic, that kind of failure, once you've spread like this.
But at the same time, it took banks, before I could get my first lease even for a piece of equipment from a bank, it was probably 6 years in.
Okay.
So it was beg, borrow, steal,
Sure.
sell beer, save money. Hey, we got enough for a tank. Let's buy a tank, and just keep nonstop. I think, like I said, every employee in our entire company made more money than we did for many years. And
is it easy? Are they now begging you to give you money?
No.
Okay.
Definitely
it's
not.
still not like that.
Oh, the banks, you mean?
The banks, yeah.
Not begging, but definitely when we have a project.
They don't lock the door like they used to when they show up.
That's true. That is true. Because I actually got laughed out of the bank I'm with now the first time I met with them.
I hope you went back and you're like, what's up?
It took a while, but I did. We went through, we're now back at the original bank. So it was Bank 1, Bank 2, back to Bank 1.
Okay.
And, Bank of Hawaii has been extremely supportive over the years now, although in the beginning, it wasn't happening. So we had to put up numbers. We had to show that Garrett is fucking crazy. We know that.
Okay,
cool.
Yeah.
Let's accept that as a fact.
Yeah.
Felony charges
he's going to do what he said he's going to do.
Right.
And they know that I will work my ass off to make sure that we're successful, because I owe it, again, to my team first.
Sure.
To the bank second. Sorry, Greg. And and then after that, my wife and I.
Okay.
So that's how we look at things. And we do have some investors that we brought in when we started the restaurant growth. So we have investor groups in each restaurant.
Okay.
But there is still a measure of debt in each of those.
Okay.
So it's just...
It's scary shit.
Yeah.
But you also, if you want to go for it, you have to do that. You have to expand like that. Yeah. Otherwise, really, you'd still have the Lahaina Brew Pub and maybe drive your little Volkswagen Beetle from 1950 and...
it was a 90 something, but yeah.
And hopefully have a mattress. You could go that route.
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that.
At what point did you decide, no, we're going to... was it back then? Did you think Maui was going to do that?
No, I had a goal of 10,000 in 2010.
Okay.
We did 12,000 barrels that year. And then I'm not safe from that same thing that happens to ego to young men. I can't. I control it better now than when I was younger. But at the same time, you do get addicted to growth.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen what that means for some breweries in this country that have grown too fast without the sales to meet up for expanding to second and third production facilities that aren't needed.
Running out of money.
Some of our locals right here. Yeah.
And so you have to balance that where. You have to check your ego at the door and be like, look, you know what? We may not grow as fast as they did, but we are going to grow manageably, and we're going to be able to afford our growth.
We'll be around longer.
Exactly. And you know what? My wife and I still own 80% of our company.
Okay.
We have not sold off company like point after point after point just to finance the inevitable growth.
Right.
And we grew slower, but we grew in a managed way.
I like it.
I have a great team who really at this point way better brewers than I ever was or will be.
Yeah.
We've got the distillery going. We've got all these different projects, and it affords me the ability to really manage and kind of captain the ship, steer it, if you will.
Sure.
But I can only do that because I feel safe that my team has everyone's best interest in mind.
Yeah.
So
brilliant. $1 billion, $1 billion. That's what ballot. That's what. I was just thinking.
Divide $1 billion by 60,000 barrels. There, let's
It's just that as you're talking about how great you're doing, and 80%, I'm just like. Yeah, but $1 billion is what Ballast Point got. And Jack White is sitting, I don't even know where, on his own island somewhere. Maybe Maui. Maybe he owns Maui. I don't know.
Maybe.
Writing bad songs, or is that a different Jack White?
Different Jack
White, yeah.
All right, let's talk about these beers real quick.
Cool.
Because it's getting late. I know you got to go. We've got the Pog IPA.
Sure.
What is this?
So Pog is a juice that if you come to Hawaii, you're going to drink at some point, I'm sure. It's passion, orange, and guava. Passion fruit in Hawaii is known as lilikoi, but Pog is a much more affectionate name. But it's just a blend of juices that you would drink. Like here, you say, I'll take a glass of OJ. Well, in Hawaii, it's Pog.
Okay.
We thought that, with the West Coast, also the hazy IPA movements, they're about juiciness, tropical fruit, very forward, without even using fruit necessarily from different types of hops, of course.
Yep.
We decided to just one-up that, and we used locally harvested passion fruit, oranges from my farm. Or farm, I don't really ever water the plants.
Okay.
But from our property.
Yeah.
And then guava that we also got locally. But we harmed a lot of fruit in the making of this beer.
Good job.
Again, no extracts, no essences. Taking a killer IPA and augmenting the flavor using notes that you would use to describe certain hops. Passion fruit and mosaic are not dissimilar.
Yep.
So I think that's what is really fun about this beer. Often imitated, I would say, again, not duplicated. There's another pseudo-Hawaiian brewery that makes a POG IPA now that's worldwide. No fruit was harmed in the making of that beer.
Really?
But
I haven't even seen it,
It came
actually.
out far after what we did because ours was so successful in the market. We cannot brew a lot of this beer because we're limited by the local agriculture producers and what they actually have for us.
Okay.
So
but they're not.
But
look at you.
no.
You're like an incubator that you don't want to be.
Yeah, right.
You're like, oh, Maui did it.
But it's cool, I mean, it's. I guess what they say. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
of course, you wish it was somebody else, maybe. But,
of course. You wish you could get like a nice letter that says thanks.
Sure.
But that's never going to.
Or a commission wouldn't hurt.
They're like,
come
oh,
on,
look
let's
at
be real.
Garrett's just our guinea pig. He's doing great.
You should send him a bill with a focus group line item on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great IPA.
Yeah, so it's usually around in kind of around this time of year is actually when you're going to find this, because the harvests we have to actually get the fruit at different times throughout the third and fourth quarters and freeze some of it because all of these fruits don't line up with the harvest perfectly for the volume we need.
Oh shit.
So it's a fairly limited production. It actually didn't make it to a can this year because we couldn't get enough passion fruit, but yeah, it's fun beer.
I would say that of the beers that we've had and those that I've tried of yours, this is the most fruit forward. However, some of those things, like you said, are actually hop characteristics, maybe like the mosaic.
Yeah.
So it's not. So some of the fruit I'm picking up is not fruit at all.
Exactly.
Is what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's a nice IPA because of that.
It's funny you say that because I think a lot of the younger brewers are like, to get a flavor, they feel like they need to add that physically to it and forget that yeast and hops have so much to do. And I mean, even going back even to strike temperature and fermentation degree, everything, it affects the beer so much. Like we had a brewer, Clay, and he made this beer. He pushes it in front of me. It's about dark like this Imperial Stout. And he pushes it in front of me. He says, "Hey, try this." And so I taste it. I'm like, what is this? It's an Imperial Stout for sure, because you could tell it was, it's not this beer, by the way.
Okay.
It's a different beer. And it was a Imperial Stout, and I tasted chocolate bananas. And I was like, did you put apple bananas and chocolate in this? And he's like, nope. It was an Imperial Stout made with Hefeweizen yeast. To exude that character of the banana, the clove.
Right.
And because it was an Imperial Stout, it had naturally the chocolate character from the malt, right?
Wow. Right.
So he's not a brand new younger brewer. He just said, look, I wanted to show our younger brewers that you can get these flavors by using Reinheitsgebot ingredients.
Interesting.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I will never forget Clay for that, because that beer was fantastic. It tasted like a chocolate banana Imperial Stout, and it was literally the yeast that made that beer.
I love this.
So,
all right, let's talk about this other beer in our glass. It's Up All Night.
Sure.
Which is an Imperial Stout, you're saying?
It is an Imperial Stout.
Okay.
So the base beer for this is called Night Diver. So our barrel-aged Night Diver just won Best of Show at the Great Alaska Beer and Barley Wine Festival.
Oh, nice.
So we're really stoked on that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was the 1 year I didn't show up to that one. So I missed that one.
Of course.
Yeah, but it was a fantastic beer designed by one of our brewers, Pete Cumbo. He's passionate about all beer, but specifically hazy IPA and Imperial Stout. And the cool thing is he doesn't make one and then move along. He wants to perfect those two beers. So it's just subtle changes to make it better and better.
Okay.
So this is a version done with, again, Origin Coffee, which is, again, the coffee company we started with our brewmaster's wife, Heather, in the Imperial Stout. So drinking this beer, you will be up all night. There's quite a bit of caffeine in here.
Yeah.
But super tasty.
Yeah, the coffee flavor is fantastic.
Right there.
It's their aroma.
Oh yeah.
That's where it sells you right there. It's just on the aroma.
Yeah.
It's a little sweet on the lips. Like you can you get that little kind of sugar on the lips, but it's not cloying.
No.
It doesn't.
It finishes dry.
I agree.
In the back, yeah.
I actually really, those are the beers I like where there is some sweetness. Is if I can taste it on my lips but not in my throat, I'm down.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And a lot of that comes from the coffee. If you balance it with the right coffee, you get the right amount of acidity, it will just dry out that sweetness that you're getting on the front and mid palate.
Right.
Yeah. I'm really proud of not only Pete for sticking with making Night Diver better and better every batch, but Heather and Kim on the coffee side especially. They tried different varieties of coffee, different roast levels, and a lot of brewers from San Diego that have won medals for their coffee beers were using the coffee that she roasted when she worked at Bird Rock in San Diego.
Wow.
So we have, it is like the most amazing duo couple, if you will, between Kim as our brewmaster and then Heather as our roast master.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Two of my favorite vices, and they're just masters in their craft and continue to develop that. And, working on those two different companies working together in order to create something cool is, a lot of times I don't even know this stuff's happening. It went on tap. And I didn't know it was even in production.
Okay.
So, I'm a little bit removed sometimes because I'm on the road so much. But
you show up and then you try this.
But honestly, do I have to worry? Because these guys clearly have it. And we have a lot of meetings, don't get me wrong. But I'm just super stoked for everything they're creating.
Do they use Hawaiian grown coffee at all, too? Because Kona is a big...
Kona's a big coffee producer. Yeah. So is Maui, though. There's a lot of different varieties on Maui.
Okay.
So Origin Coffee celebrates the origin of the coffee bean, whether that be, Africa, Sumatran coffee, or is it Costa Rican, Nicaraguan, or Maui, or Kona? It's about celebrating that particular varietal from that region. And we work a lot direct to grower, so we're paying a very fair price for the coffee so that there's more money being made by these the farmers.
Sure.
But that's what Origin is about. And it is available. You can purchase it online. We're actually going to be doing cold brew coffee here soon.
Okay.
So we have a 30-barrel cold brew house going in now. And we'll do a still and a nitro coffee.
I did not realize that cold brewed coffee required a brew house.
It doesn't require it, but to do it the right way and have the consistency of flavor with lack of oxidation.
Okay.
You gotta. If you're going to do it right.
Is that in the same Kihei facility?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. We ripped out our old keg line, put in a new one, and where the old one went is the 30-barrel coffee brew house.
Do you have a bunch of property there that you have not built on too, or is it built out?
All of the property we currently own is built out.
It is, okay.
Yeah. But we're in negotiations on some surrounding property.
Okay.
So that we don't get landlocked.
Nice.
Well, but you just wait for the next eruption. More land will grow.
Yeah. On Big Island, especially.
Yeah, there you go.
True. Yeah.
Done.
I heard it was like 500 acres got added or something like that.
Are you kidding me? Really?
Yeah, and
500 acres?
I was thinking that during the last break, like if Hawaii was a business, I would invest in it because it's the only state that keeps growing.
Right.
You get more.
Yeah.
It's okay. Build. I don't give a shit. We're going to make more.
It's unfortunate, though. Like, you guys know Ted from Eel River.
Yeah.
His house, his retirement home that he was going to move to is 120 feet under lava at this point.
You're kidding.
Because he had his home in that area, and it was so sad. I saw him at Kona Brewers Festival last year after this all was going down. It was heartbreaking to see people lose their homes, but
the
at the
world
same time,
ate his house.
Wait, is it like we can't get earthquake insurance in California?
Yeah.
So is it like there's
I think
no
they can
lava
I think they can get
insurance?
lava insurance in certain areas, but I think at some point the insurance company's got to be like, look, dude.
What about for the Kihei Brewery? Like, is that something?
Fortunately, we don't have an active volcano on Maui.
Oh, okay.
So it would have to be like 2012 apocalyptic type thing,
for something to come up. You're more likely to disappear into the ocean than
with like
grow.
a tsunami, right?
Okay.
You can get earthquake insurance, but it's like $200 a month or some insane.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine.
Poor Ted.
That sucks.
I love that crazy
he's
fucker
awesome.
too. Yeah. Damn it,
Big dude.
Okay, so that I can let you go, I just want to talk quickly about the distillery too. You guys are distilling now.
Sure. Whiskey and gin.
The whiskey gin. Okay.
So it's under the brand called Kupu Spirits.
Okay.
Kupu is like an offshoot or a new growth. So specifically kind of refers to a fern, where you have this base plant and then you have this offshoot that's unfurling frond, right?
Okay.
So when you see the logo, it's as a fern unfolding, and that offshoot is supported by that foundation. Well, that foundation is Maui Brewing. We have 14 years of brewing history and distribution and et cetera, and the financial means to support it while it grows.
Right.
And the offshoot is Kupu. That is like I said, our gin and our whiskey. We are not buying whiskey, aging it, or buying aged whiskey and bottling it. It's going to be 2 to 3 years before you see our first actual whiskey out in the market.
Okay.
Or aged whiskey, because we will sell a white whiskey kit. But our gin is the one we're really looking forward to. We also, because we have the canning line, and Maui Brewing Company does a line of natural non-alcoholic sodas.
Oh, yeah.
Ginger beer, root beer, cola, and tonic water.
Nice.
We're going to marry those two into cocktails. So we'll have our white whiskey ginger, white whiskey cola, and then we have our gin and tonic also going into cans. So, we're able to use that distillate right out of the pot, and then not out of the parrot, I should say, and then wait for our whiskey to lay down before we release bottles as well.
I love this.
Super excited about it.
I like the cocktails and can thing too. Just ready to go. Right, like it used to be that it was all shit. Right, like you get a wine cooler.
Yeah,
or
and
Zima,
those little like 6 ounce cans.
Yeah.
That everyone used to
Super
smuggle in
sweet.
shows. God, I used
but
to
now you
pack
can
those
get
in my
an
sleeve.
actual cocktail like that you would order at a bar. I will take a gin and tonic, please.
Yeah.
Demand it. You demand it.
Well, these are crafted tonics, I think. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we make our own tonic, and we're using, in our gin specifically, we're using a lot of local ingredients. So hibiscus adds a note that's different from what you get most in gin. Kaffir lime, again, oranges for my house. I have a lot of orange trees.
Okay.
And then, of course, juniper forward. But
Then your cola is just
Why don't you sleep on those, Garrett?
almost like an organic cola. It's like
exactly.
no added
I would
ingredients.
say it tastes kind of between Fentimans and Q colas. So it's a nice spicy cola. It doesn't taste anything like Coca-Cola, but it's fantastic with alcohol in it.
Booze on top. You're ready to
So
roll.
is urine. God damn it. I don't care.
Yeah, so is everything.
Yeah. But the ginger beer too, we're using local Hawaiian ginger and making a nice spicy ginger beer and adding the whiskey to that.
That
and
sounds dope as hell,
It's just
dude.
so much fun.
Yeah,
So-
a 12-ounce can, that's a double in one shot.
Yeah. So I think
Shut up, bro.
average is about 7% ABV for the cocktails. So
That sounds great. I want it right now. Let's go. Let's seriously, let's go. And I was thinking, the saddest flight in the entire universe has to be the flight from Hawaii back to the mainland.
It's horrible.
Right? It's depressing as hell.
Well, and just to let you know as well, Bikini Blonde Lager is the official craft beer of Hawaiian Airlines.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah, thank you. They also have Pauhana Pilsner now. They're just rolling that out.
Oh, I love
Thank
a
you.
Pilsner.
That's a fucking great beer, by the way.
Thank you. It's coming year round here now.
Okay.
Justin, don't yell at the man.
I'm sorry. I
Stop
just
yelling
love
at him.
it's such a great
That
beer.
was aggressive.
Yeah. It's that good.
It's that good.
It's that good.
I will scream in your face.
Yeah, so I was going to say, if you're flying direct flights from the Bay Area to Hawaii, of course, and you can drink. Well, you can drink as much as they have on board.
Let's go, Justin. What
I
are we doing?
know.
Order
Talking to
early
you
and
guys,
often.
you could drink all the beer they have on
Absolutely.
board. So I just
We'll tell you
I
what flight
caveat
we're
that.
on, so that way you can have them bring an extra case.
There you go. Yeah.
We need to find an event to go to.
Yeah.
We
get that done.
I'm looking at my watch.
I feel like we can get this done.
Maui Brewers Festival, I believe May 18th, if that's the Saturday.
Okay.
17th or 18th.
I've been there. It's
you have.
great. It's a great
Fantastic.
fest.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Have you been
Can
meeting
you
with
for
Southwest?
once make me go to a good beer festival?
Other than the one you put on, you mean?
Other than the one I
Okay,
work my
okay.
ass
But she
off
has
at?
to work, unfortunately.
Same.
And then every other one I take her to.
That
is
sounds like a
horrible, so,
reward for,
You're right.
Yeah.
I should bring her to
Me
Maui.
too.
Yeah.
Once you deserve
Yeah,
a reward,
sure.
once you deserve a reward,
Warren,
then you'll get to go.
Shut up.
Right.
I'm confused though. I thought Garrett always was like known for wearing like suits and with a nice hat and like an embroidered thing.
Wrong Garrett. This is Puerto
My brother
Rican
Garrett. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
shit, bro! I'm totally
wrong.
sorry. I've actually never had your beer before. I don't know. I thought it was the other Garrett.
Yeah, this whole time.
I didn't know.
It's like, I love you. Oh, never
You
mind.
wrote a book? Like it was a
Never mind.
thing, dude. I
Yeah.
brought my book for him to sign.
From Brooklyn, Maui.
Yeah.
That's goddamn. I feel stupid.
Here's the thing: there's only two Garretts, and there's only one black brewer that's that famous, and
Yeah.
one Puerto Rican brewer that's that famous. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
and,
easy
you,
to-
and you got it all wrong.
Yeah.
50-50 shot.
Yeah.
I'm stupid,
That's
but
the story of his life.
I think that they're equal height.
Right about, yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
There you go.
Garrett's a good friend, and obviously Brooklyn makes fantastic beer.
Oh, 100%.
So I'm proud to be confused with Garrett Oliver.
As you should. He also is one of our favorite interviews too.
Absolutely.
He's a good time.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Brooklyn Lager to come out here.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
that
with the partnership with
2-1-8
the
thing?
21st
Yeah,
Amendment.
oh.
It's coming. In fact, I think they might have just launched at SF Beer Week, so
Yeah.
we should
Oh,
be able
nice.
to get it here soon.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the record, I do love a good suit, but not a lot of opportunity for them in Hawaii anymore.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
Savor.
when is
Pretty
the
much
last
savor?
Totally
when
joke.
is the last time you wore a suit on Maui?
I've never worn a suit on
right?
Maui.
Not even like a
when you
linen
go to
suit.
a wedding,
Like
it's
no.
not a
No.
Yeah.
If I had to wear a suit to a wedding on Maui, I'm not going.
Even the first time into a bank to get a loan?
No. Good question.
No, it's funny.
No.
Only lawyers wear suits. Bankers don't even wear suits. They wear khakis and aloha shirts.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
What did you
And I will
wear?
tell you, I promise you, you need to, when you go looking for a loan, if you show up in a suit, like, probably not the best idea. I learned this from my grandpa. You want to look as broke as possible. You want to go in, you want to be a working man. So every meeting I had with the bank while we were in construction for overruns and stuff, I'm in there with torn jeans, shit all over my body,
Wow.
Construction shirt, sweating like profusely, and looking as haggard as possible because you know what? I'm working. I'm not.
You
here
look like
to
you'll do
push
anything to.
papers.
Yeah.
Grind that dirt under your fingernails.
Yeah, right.
It's like, when the Japanese investors and not Apocalypse Now with Bruce Willis, Armageddon.
Oh,
remember?
Yeah.
Harry, they're all covered in oil, and he's
exactly.
That's who you want. You want to be Harry.
It makes sense. He's
The
working.
most believable movie of all time.
Of course.
By the way. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to let you get out of here. I want to thank you so much for being here. I do have to do one more thing before you go.
Okay.
And that's make out with you. And it's real uncomfortable.
I have to give a shout out to my girlfriend that I've never met, Kelsey.
You do have to give a shout out to Kelsey.
She's a wonderful young lady that works on your team.
Yep.
And,
Kelsey is our market manager in Maui. Yep.
I can't wait to come meet my girlfriend.
Yep.
That I've never met.
Exactly.
But she's wonderful. She's a fan of the show, and
I'm sure she's listening too.
I wanted to give a what's
I
up.
sent her a picture when I first sat down. I was like, "Hey."
I should have showered and cleaned up today.
Yeah.
I was very lucky to get on one of her last tours before
you
she
got the tour.
became
Yeah.
the marketing manager.
Yeah, she was a tour guide before.
Yeah.
But her personality, you cannot not have a good time around her.
I've watched videos of her doing her presenting. I've seen that on the website.
Her
and stuff,
ode to coconut porter.
Yes, exactly.
She literally made a scroll of chopsticks and receipt paper and made an ode to coconut porter.
Wow.
It's pretty epic.
My family got a trip out of walking into Maui Brewing Company and Kelsey coming up and asking, "Are you Beardy?"
Oh, nice.
my parents were just like, "What is happening right now?"
Right.
My kid has made it.
Yeah.
Right.
He's doing something with his stupid pale life.
Her next question was, "Is Justin here?"
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
In spirit.
She's not just she's my only fan. Let's be real. So,
well, she wanted to know if Justin was here so she could go take a break and go home.
I gotta leave.
Yeah.
I gotta leave.
Thank you for that. That means a lot. Our team. I remember when she found out you and I were friends. She just I blew her mind. I don't think she could talk for like 5 minutes.
Oh no!
It was funny. I was like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you guys.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah,
love is a thing.
That's right. That's right, JP. I'm sorry you don't have any fans.
Justin has a good sense of humor.
Hey, I do have fans. They're sitting out there. They recognize me in the doctor's office.
That is not what happened. You have a fan. She's 11 months old.
No, that's true.
He has a fan. He had to buy a bike.
It's true. I hand crank my own fan.
So you're saying you're trying to get me out of here? The show's over. Do I have to leave? Or?
No, absolutely not.
Right.
I'm just
felt like it was like you need to go.
Absolutely not. In fact,
You've been great. There's the door.
We've got a live performance.
So my beer was shit. You're saying?
Well, you can always tell by how long the interview is.
All right, here's what we're gonna do.
I will be here drinking beers then. Otherwise,
if Kelsey is a real fan, she'll be able to know if we liked your beer or didn't like your beer based on this interview. So I want you to ask her.
Okay.
Did they like my beer? Yeah. And you know what? If she's a real fan, I think she's going to give you the right answer. You absolutely do not have to leave. I just want to give you the out. In fact, coming up, we've got a performance, a live performance. You guys remember my old friend Schumann?
I do.
God.
Everybody remembers Schumann. His new band, Static and Surrender, is going to perform a live song here on the Brewing Network Radio. It's kind of old school, like we used to do, where we get some shitty bands in here to play music.
Can we just play Static and surrender the time to him?
Yeah, I'm actually just going to play Static.
Now Garrett's getting up to leave.
Yeah.
He's putting on a suit. That's weird.
Well, yeah, whether you decide to stay or not, I do want to say thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Great to be here, man.
What a great time. I know you made a special trip out here to be in the studio, and I appreciate that. It was the right way for us to do this. And look, at any time, you tell me you tell me when you're back in California.
I'm sorry sorry it took so long.
That's all right. It was us. And look, forget these guys. I'll be back on Maui soon.
Awesome.
And I'll let you know.
We'd love to.
I want to go.
You guys all have a standing invitation. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been to Maui.
People will never make it.
Wait, yes, you. Where did
Not
you
Maui.
go? Oh, which one did you go to?
Oahu.
Oh, you went to Oahu.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Also,
Near miss.
Also good.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about Maui though.
There is.
I just never. It was the only time I've ever been, and it's been there for 6 days, and I've
you loved it.
Loved it. I got sick the last day hanging out in Honolulu.
Course you did.
It was terrible. I got
you weren't sick in Hawaii.
Too much happiness.
Yeah.
You were sick at home.
Yeah, exactly. On the last day.
Yeah.
All of the islands, are special, but I don't know. There's some about Maui. It just has its own personality.
It does.
That's different than the rest.
I think every island has its own personality, but they grab different people for different reasons. And that's why, I remember leaving baggage claim at, OGG Maui Airport and looking up at the West Maui Mountains being like, I'm 23. This is where I want to retire.
Yeah, understood.
In 40
I know.
years.
Meanwhile, it's not where you retired. It's where you went to work.
Yeah. So think about that. So fast forward 3 years later, I'd given up a career that I spent my whole life studying and working on licenses and everything, and my 3-piece suits, and I gave up all of that to start a brewery and risk it all because I fell in love with the spirit of Maui.
Yeah,
it's why I want to protect the island so much.
Yeah.
I believe it's my home. So.
I think you're doing just that, and I just like that you're also making an example for other companies, breweries as well, but other businesses. And please keep up the good work.
Will do.
When I sell out for the $50 someone's going to offer me for the Brewing Network, I will still text you and say, "What's up, Garrett?" Is that fair?
If I had $50 on me, I would give it to you for the Brewing Network.
We take credit cards.
Because that's a firm offer.
We
right
take
there.
cards.
I think I have like $17 in my pocket.
I have the document ready to print. I will print it out right now.
Honestly, you'd probably take payments.
Oh, yeah? We'll take 4 payments on that.
Maui Brewing Network? Done.
His text will be, how much coconut porter can I get for $50?
Yeah.
Exactly.
A trip to Maui would be great. That's it. That's all we need.
Just shy of a case. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. You almost had me.
Yeah, right. The last one will be half open with cigarette butts in it, but it's yours.
You guys rock. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Garrett.
Aloha.
Go to MauiBrewing.com.
Likewise.
If you go to MauiBrewing.com, you can learn about where the different restaurants are, how to go to the brewery. I highly recommend actually going to both the original pub in Lahaina, which is a lot of fun. They have a ice luge type thing, like you put your beer on it keeps your beer cold, right?
Yeah.
What is this thing called?
It's called ice rail.
Ice rail. Thank you. Not ice luge.
I will never,
that's
ever,
the drink.
ever do that again.
It does look like an awful idea.
But
it works.
Yeah, it does. It's fun. We were still finding ourselves, I'll say.
Understood. Well, go for the beer, stay for the ice rail,
was my nickname
or vice
in my
versa.
early 20s.
I'm gonna just add. I would encourage you to visit all 4 of our locations.
I was getting there. I was going to say I think you should go to Lahaina because it actually still feels like the roots. Like you
Definitely
can.
Does.
I don't mean to say you can still smell that Garrett slept on the floor there, but I mean to say that it feels like the roots. You can kind of tell. Then go to Kihei, which is a great part of the island anyway, and then it's just this magnificent place that you've built. It's really beautiful. I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you for that. And then of course you can go to Waikiki, and the other one Kailua. Okay, so any of the islands, if you're going to Hawaii, go check out Maui. Yeah. You're gonna. Have
if you haven't been to
time.
the beach in Kailua, you've never been to the beach.
Okay,
so I'll tell you that it's a beautiful, beautiful area of Hawaii too. So.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And can you see the beach from the?
Unfortunately, no, but it's not that far.
Okay.
So,
Look at this is what you do when you go to Hawaii anyway. You spend most of your time in the sun and on the beach. All you do though is that and eat and drink. So you end up going to these places.
Absolutely.
And have a good time. All right. Maui is my favorite. I'm just gonna just putting that out there as my own. I just love that island. So go check it out. Go to MauiBrewing.com. Also, go to GreatFermentations.com right now. And as always, Great Fermentations provides top-notch customer service and same-day shipping on so many of their items. And they're now offering specialized grain ordering. You don't have to order by the pound anymore. You can do any grain in less than pound increments, so perfect for specialty grains. You can even ask to combine or keep the grains separate. So for you homebrewers out there, you can even tell them to crush the grain however you want it. So go to greatfermentations.com. They've been a great sponsor of ours, and you homebrewers should check it out. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then I guess we're going to let Schumann and his band play.
Yeah, I'm going to take a break too.
Yeah,
for the whole thing.
Yeah,
for the whole performance.
Yeah, I hear enough wailing.
Yeah.
I don't need a grown adult male doing it.
I think I have a family emergency actually.
Yeah, I have Warren's family emergency
crowd.
too. Yeah.
Real tough crowd.
It is a tough crowd.
It's why we did the beer first. Really,
Exactly.
loosening them up for y'all.
We're his biggest fans.
Right. All right, everybody. Garrett, thank you again so much. Go to MauiBrewing.com and check it out. Thanks for the beer. I'm going to have another Kolsch, I think, is how I'm going to finish the night. God, I love that beer.
Easy.
Yeah, let's do that. Hang in
I think,
there.
too, as it warms up, you get more of the starfruit coming out, too. It's real nice.
It does. We'll be back with Static and Surrender. Hang in there.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Check out their brand new patent-pending Mash and Boil 110-volt electric mashing and boiling unit. This compact all-stainless unit lets you mash, sparge, and boil just about anywhere that has a 110-volt plug. Double-wall construction adds to efficiency and safety, and a precise thermostat keeps temperatures where you want them. Unlike insulated buckets and converted coolers, multiple temperature rest mashing is easy to do, all for under $300. They also feature the Mark II work pump, a magnetic drive high-temperature pump that does the work of pumps that cost twice as much, as well as exclusive Brewer's Edge regulators and quality Keg King kegs and disconnects. Check them out today at williamsbrewing.com to brews their vast selection.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zainashev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
Hey, what's up? This is Blake from Creature Comforts. You're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Of course, we've been talking to Garrett Marrero from Maui Brewing, who we've convinced to stick around for our last segment, which is rare. Usually people are like, I gotta go. It's enough already. Before we get to, I've got some exciting things planned for you right now, including a performance from Static and Surrender. But first, I would just want to remind you to go check out our good friends over at Neshaminy Creek Brewing, who has been brewing award-winning beers in Croydon, Pennsylvania. Since 2002.
The John.
Yeah, exactly, the Johns. So the singer of our band who's going to perform tonight is from Philly himself, and also a fan of Neshaminy Creek. They are proud winners of 4 Philly Beer Scene Magazine awards for Brewer of the Year and 3 for Brewery of the Year. 2-time GABF Vienna Style Lager medal winners, both in 2013 and 2016, and a bronze for their smoked lager, also 2016, 2017. They've got a big-ass tap room with 24 beers on tap, and 18 of them are rotating seasonal and limited beers. So they are doing it right. Go check them out at NeshemineyCreekBrewing.com. And if you want to do a brewery tour, they'll do that for you too. So there we go. All right. Now, we've got Static and Surrender in the studio with us, and it's our old friend Schumann. You all remember Schumann and his brother?
I'm not really a friend. I'm more of an acquaintance, I think.
Yeah, at this point. And his brother, we call him Shoe Light, the younger brother. Yeah, right.
Oh, wait, no, I'm awesome.
All right, yeah. How long has Static and Surrender been a group? You guys got together a few years ago?
Too long.
Yeah, a little bit too long. What's been 3 years or something? You guys have been a group now?
2.5.
Okay.
2 and some change.
So those of you Brewing Network fans have inadvertently followed the career of Adam Schumann and his different bands. This is the latest iteration, and if I don't say so myself, the best. You actually get better with age, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Not true.
I'm like a fine boxed wine.
At least you make some better decisions, I guess, of who to associate yourself with. So,
not always true.
Yeah, which is also not always true. But before we do, now these guys are going to perform a song for us, which we always like to do here on the BN and get a little live music. But before we do that, Johnny, your brother.
Well, here's what happened. We were sizing Garrett up when we saw him in the studio, and John looked at him and said, "He looks like a guy who does push-ups on his knees."
Okay.
And he also said some shit like I know dudes from Hawaii, their relatives couldn't hack it like in the Hawaiian culture or Tongan culture, so they're not that tough. So I bet you I could whip his ass in arm wrestling. He said those words.
Johnny started talking shit.
I mean, honestly, it was like, oh, you got that armband tattoo? That's tight. Watch this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, meanwhile, Shoe Light has a rose on his arm. For God's sake.
And I'm listening to Garrett's interview. He seems like a nice dude. I'm like, I don't feel like my brother should be talking that much shit.
Mm-hmm. So what we've decided is that Johnny Schumann, who's the fittest of the brothers,
air quotes,
and fuck you too.
Thank you.
and Garrett Marrero should arm wrestle.
I'm going to time-lapse video this shit.
Yes, please. Now, Garrett is clearly a more fit person than you are, Johnny. I mean, let's be
What do you
honest.
mean?
Now, you're a fit guy.
Thanks, man.
But as Garrett was kind of pointing out earlier...
He's like Dwayne Johnson fit, and he's like Richard Simmons fit.
That's about what it is. Yes.
Just give me that pony.
However, Garrett has had this scenario before where he felt like it's the little scrappy guys that are the trouble.
Totally.
So here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to make Garrett, because he's so much larger than you are, clearly.
So much larger.
We're going to make him arm wrestle you left-handed because you're a lefty. So we're giving you an advantage.
So if I lose, I'm double the pussy.
Exactly. That is exactly what's going to happen.
I'm in.
Now, what I thought though is that we might want to play some friendly wagers on this thing. So all right, Garrett is a big guy, fit. Johnny is
scared.
However, we are making the righty Garrett go left-handed, so there's a little bit at play there. JP, what are your initial thoughts if you were going to place a wager on this competition?
Well, I would say I would put a $5 on Shoe Light, only because, no offense to Garrett, but the left-handed, I think we're just going to handicap him a little bit.
Right.
Left-handed is very tough to do. I know all the time. I try to arm wrestle all the kids in the neighborhood. They always win left-handed. But I feel like what is his name? John?
Yes.
Yeah, John.
Yes.
I feel like John is drunk enough to not understand his limits, and I think he's going to pull something. Trying to really impress everybody in the room, because let's face it, he really needs our attention.
But you're saying that might make him victorious.
Yes.
He knows me.
Because he's willing to go all out.
He doesn't know.
He's going all out.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 5 on John.
Yeah, I got like cash in my bag. Yeah.
JP, thank you so much.
I'm ready.
I appreciate it.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Also, he's closer to me than Garrett is. Garrett's farther away from me.
Tasty is raising his hand because he seems to have.
That 5.
So you're going 5 on Garrett.
I'm covering that 5 right there. His left gun's much bigger than shoe lights.
I see. If you can't hear off the mic, Tasty's
Have you
basically
seen that
saying
guy?
that Garrett's left gun
look at him.
is even bigger than maybe his right gun. So Tasty's got 5 on Garrett. Schumann, it's your brother. You know his scrappiness better than anyone.
Do you believe me?
Where's your money?
Perhaps
Do you believe me?
Met my friend George Washington.
Is that
I
a
got
dollar? I forget.
on Garrett.
You got a dollar.
Hey, man.
That's all his wife would let him out of the house with. Is $1.
Okay, all right. Beardy, I got to let you get in here. Where's your money on this one?
I've got a Jefferson on Garrett because I don't think these are just all show muscles.
Okay.
I think that some surfing and everything has actually developed to some real strength, not just like I need to eat chicken all day to keep this look up.
Yeah.
What about tobacco and whiskey?
Which is Johnny's exercise routine.
Yeah, and plus Johnny's got his wife in the room, so she's going to be extra disappointed.
Okay.
So that does add a layer, but I still put a Jefferson on Garrett.
His wife is not a stranger to disappointment.
She put a ring on it. I get it.
Yeah.
Fact.
All right.
She put a ring on it.
Let's try to get to the bottom of this. Garrett, are you a surfer? Are you a Maui surfer, and that's part of your fitness program?
A little bit of paddleboarding, but no, I'm more of a CrossFit guy. Gotta be honest.
CrossFit.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, it's not just for fitness. It's also
Johnny, don't
just
fuck
put it
this
this way.
up.
People are safer if I go to CrossFit in the morning.
Understood.
Because you get out a lot of aggression.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I happen to know for a fact because Schumann and I have talked about this. We've often talked like Johnny's the fit brother, and I thought, wow, does he like wake up and work out every day? It turns out he doesn't do shit. He's actually just sort of DNA fit.
You said do shit.
When's the last time you went to the gym, Johnny?
Last week actually.
Oh, you okay? All right.
Yeah.
So you've been getting back into it a little bit.
Emily says not today.
When was the last time you did gym?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hours
I'm
ago.
actually his fitness coacher, and I highlighted a 9-point jacking off plan to really get his arms back up into shape because he's out of shape.
Understood.
Yeah, and he's doing real good on it.
I'm pretty fit.
Now, if Garrett uses the stranger method, his left arm might be more strong than he's letting on.
I was going to admit to that myself. The only time I use my left hand is when I'm going for the stranger. As well, yeah. All right. Well, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to Beardy to help me out, and let's put that microphone in between Garrett and Johnny.
Wait, who runs ladder? We should figure that out.
So that they could both. I will, of course.
It's broken.
I will, of course, give a play-by-play, but let's keep that microphone. Once they get settled with their hands, Beardy, let's put that close to their faces in between. And that way, if anybody wants to...
Regulation table.
If anyone wants to scream out or comment as how it's going, we can do that too. Johnny, how are you feeling that your chances?
Have you seen this dude? I'm feeling pretty good here, man. You know,
The side-by-side on camera is pretty great.
Is it good?
It's really good.
Of course,
1 minute at a time here, man.
If you're listening to the podcast as you're driving or at home right now, you can go to our live stream page. Just go to thebrewingnetwork.com and click the watch button, and you'll be able to see this video as it happens. Yeah, not while you're driving, but
does anybody need to borrow a hat to turn backwards very slowly before they engage? Over the top.
Over the top.
No, okay, great.
That's a dumb reference.
Yeah,
Johnny.
right. That's why I have a hat on.
All right, Beardy, let's get them situated. Let's connect those hands. They are going left and left.
I feel so small in your arms.
Garrett's hands are about twice the size of John.
Johnny, you gotta lock the middle hand too. Just like see, Garrett already know he was ready. I feel like he's actually done.
Garrett's
this before.
bicep is the size of John's head.
Garrett just had to pull up his shirt to fit his bicep.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wants this sleeve for later.
Right. Now,
want to rip it.
Garrett, do you, with your hands locked, your other hands, do you have enough room, you think, to hammer him?
Isn't the hand supposed
I
to
don't
be
want
underneath?
anything. I don't want anything to get in the way.
Do you have the room to hammer
I don't
him?
know regulation, so this is just.
I think I'll just call the winner as the judge. It'll be my decision.
Hey,
so,
Garrett, in one word, could you describe my brother's hands and how it feels right now? Soft.
Yeah. All right. This is very exciting. Beardy, I would like you to place your hand on top of their arm wrestling hands.
Is that even softer?
You guys.
Oh, it is so rough.
You guys know how this goes. And what I'd like you to do, or I'll do the count off, but it's going to be 1, 2, 3, lift. Right, so it's not on 3.
The fourth beat.
It's on the 4th beat. So I'm going to count it out for you guys, and then once Beardy lifts his hands, I do hope that this isn't anticlimactic. Like that Garrett just, it's over.
We'll make it look rough.
Right.
Make it look hardy.
Johnny, put up a fight.
No, even better. Like Garrett can play with him, like let him think he's winning, and then just destroy him.
Why are they holding both hands? Like, is it just like a camaraderie thing?
It just, yes. Yeah. I don't.
You're supposed to have.
You have to. I feel like it helps, and so you don't
That's
cheat.
very kind. I like it's a loving grip, I would say. I'm going to take back soft and call it loving. Thank you. Please take
That's real nice.
Wow, that's hella good.
Bevo, do we have any cash on hand? Because I want to bet too.
I have some cash. I mean, I don't have. I have a little bit of cash.
Okay, all right. God, I don't know who to bet on right now.
Well, here's what I was thinking, Justin.
Yeah, what?
I'm glad that I get to hold hands with these two gentlemen right now.
Go ahead, Bevo.
Garrett's. Well, they're both very handsome men.
Beardy, no matter how you slice it,
Garrett
you
is
win.
a giant man,
Yeah, okay.
but Shoelight has retard strength.
Garrett, can you hear
And
what's...
it's special needed strength.
I'm sorry, not a good word to use, but
He really needs not to get his ass kicked.
Seriously, Beef, remember we talked about you staying or leaving California?
I hope you pat yourself if you win.
All right, because it's lefty, and because I think Johnny... I got $10 on Johnny. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to have a little moment here.
So,
Yes.
you're going to have to call winner because there's no way either of us can.
I'll look down here.
Okay.
My arm's about to slip off.
Oh no, Johnny, get on the table. Like, make yourself, give yourself. I got money on you, buddy. Like, set yourself up.
Can I change my vote? He can't even figure out how to sit at a table
I
properly,
know.
holding another man's hands.
Yeah.
You're welcome, man.
Yeah.
I got 2 hands.
It begs the
He's
question.
pretending like holding a man's hand is new to him.
No one can hit the table.
That's okay. I'm just gonna call it when I call it. Basically, yeah. All right, Beardy. You remember it's on the 4th beat. Here we go. The first ever Brewing Network arm wrestling competition. Yeah.
Here we go.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Wrestle. Come on, Johnny. Don't let me down. You're my dude. Now Garrett, I see he's doing his strategy where he just kind of holds him in place. He might not be able to push him too far, but he's trying to wear him out.
I think that's Emily's strategy too.
Yeah, wear him out.
Yeah, hold him in place.
There is a little bit of back and forth. Johnny's face. Garrett looks very relaxed.
Here we go.
Garrett's
Garrett
very comfortable.
is.
Garrett's at home.
Here we go.
He's over the top.
We're at about
He's
45
going.
degrees.
He's going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you. That's a winner right there. Garrett Marrero. Yeah.
It took a lot longer, but also, can we have them now switch hands?
Other hands.
We could, but it's going to be so quick.
I know.
John's 11.
You just want to hurt John's feelings.
Garrett, real quick, will you just shatter his wrist on a right-handed move?
It's like that. It's like that
You're
scene.
right. Garrett's right.
Wow, man.
It's like
he
the
just,
scene in The Fly.
Garrett's right. He's a drummer.
He just goes to the bar and snaps that kid's hand.
Johnny, did you feel at any time that you might be able to overcome that strength?
No.
Yeah.
I definitely felt for a minute that there was going to be a challenge.
You did?
So, yeah, definitely.
That
was my holding strategy.
When you were in the holding, you felt the pressure. It wasn't nothing.
I was just going into the zone, just hold,
yeah.
hold.
Replaying over the top in your head.
Yeah.
Winner takes it all.
Garrett Marrero, champion of our first ever. Yeah. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen alike, though, Johnny's no slouch. Look him up on Google, and he's a handsome, fit guy himself. He just couldn't.
Or grinder.
Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, man.
He just couldn't take down the Maui machine.
Fact. That's a fucking fact.
All right, get your instruments ready. Let's hear some music.
I'm going to go grab a beer.
Thanks. Hey, Garrett, ladies and gentlemen, Garrett Marrero. Yeah.
Your brother wanted to say hey, you made some money, I think.
Yeah. I lost. Yeah. Next time you're on Maui, go see Garrett at Maui Brewing Company in Kihei or Lahaina or any of their other locations in Waikiki and Kailua. Go check them out. Get the beer. Also, the beer is distributed around the country, so you can go to MauiBrewing.com and find out where you can get it.
Absolutely.
Especially here at the Hop Grenade. Thanks, Garrett.
Thanks, Garrett.
Sorry you're afraid of my right hand. Cool.
All right. So, Static and Surrender is in the studio. Now, even though Johnny just took a little bit of a beating, I think he's ready to come back with some rock and roll.
It'll be fine.
You feeling good?
Fine.
Okay. Yeah.
I just 16.
Should have had a beard off in some way. I don't know.
I'd say your dad would be so proud, but...
Right.
He's dead.
But he's dead. If you don't know what we're talking about, you can go back to the... I forget what that show is called. It's just like the Dead Dad Show or something.
Casa de Muerte.
It had a catchy name at the
Casa de
time.
Muerte.
Yeah.
Well, Justin's mom would be proud of the show, though, too.
Also dead. Thank you.
Oh, shit, I forgot. I'm sorry, Justin.
Yeah, also dead.
How's your first dad, dude?
You know what? Alive and kicking.
Damn it.
Yeah, he's like the Tasty of the Crosley world. He's just still going. He's just still doing his thing.
Doesn't know when to stop.
He's banging a bunch of broads. He does his whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that correct to say?
This is the PC hour.
I can say banging broads. Just ridiculous. This show's ridiculous. We're ridiculous. All right. Hey, what are you guys going to... Jeff, what are you going to play for us today?
Looking at me.
Yeah.
Fall on the blade.
Okay. This is Fall on the Blade.
Right now?
From...
Is that happening right now?
You want to arm wrestle again?
Shit.
Where's your drum?
I don't know. Apparently that Maui pussy left.
Get your thing ready.
We just said pussy on the air.
Align your microphone so that you can both sing and we hear your crappy drum.
Yeah.
All right.
Cajon.
All right. What is it? Fall on the Blade?
Yeah, I don't know how to say that in Spanish. Does anyone know how to say that in Spanish?
Casa de la Muerte. Fall on the Blade by Static and Surrender, ladies and gentlemen.
Brought to you by Maui Brewing. I made this bed of mine so well that I can lie in it. I gave in a while, oh well, but I'm still trying it. You think that this is something that we can forget about? You said a lot of things and then we never talk it out. You should be coming clean whenever you're ready to fall on the blade. I'll hold it steady. I gave a shit and I don't know if it was mine to give. These days we live and die so well that there's no time to live. You think it's over, but it's not. You need to come around, tell them everything, and then you'll never live it down. Should be coming clean whenever you're ready to fall on the blade. I'll hold it steady. Fall forget about. I said a lot of things and then we never talk it out. You think it's over, but it's not. You need to come around. I tell them everything and then you never live it down. Should they come and clean whatever you're ready to fall on the blade? I'll hold it steady.
Thank you.
I like it.
I'll hold it, Freddie.
That's a great song.
Thank you very much.
You wrote that?
Loved it.
Who wrote that?
We wrote that.
We?
Adam started it.
Really? I didn't know he had that kind
We
of
finished it.
talent. It's right. It was good before that.
It was better when Jeff wrote it.
How does that work? When you say he started that, like what? He comes in with a riff, or did he have a chorus?
He had.
Oh, he had 2 notes.
I mean, 3.
I see. Okay.
And then, I mean, that's that.
And then you did the rest. Let's be honest.
I mean, he had the other thing too.
Do you guys? Does this happen separately? Like someone will go write all this by themselves, and then you come back together and finish it, or do you ever sit in a room and go, "Hey, we're going to write a song right now"?
We actually tried to do that today, and it was just like, we could just go to the hop grenade.
It must be hard, right? Like to sit in a room and go, "Hey, let's just make creativity happen." It doesn't really work like that, does it?
I think that. I mean, I don't know. We're all elder statesmen now, and I think that we have all been in like the phases of our lives where we are, sitting in like rehearsal studios and laboring for 9 hours over like loud guitars and shit.
Yeah.
And we've all seen results with that. But now with computers and such, Adam can just send me an idea. Like his kids go down for a nap and he has 3 hours to himself, and he sticks headphones on and like sets up a drum loop and plays guitar and comes up with this thing that sounds like a major label fucking record, and then he sends it to me, and then he's like, "Yeah, this is awesome," and I'm like, "This is great," and then I sit down and I sing over it, and that ends up being a song.
Okay.
I mean, it's like it's different than it was when we were kids.
It is, but it's obviously still collaboration then.
Oh,
You're
absolutely.
still,
I mean, this is the most collaborative band I've ever been in my life.
Okay.
Because it's always pretty much every song that we've had has been like an idea of Adam's that I jump on and I sing on, and then we give it to John, and then ultimately John comes up with a drum groove that's exactly what Adam knew John would come up with.
Brothers, sure.
This album like literally was 70% like the whole album I never heard anything of, and it was like oh, this is my idea. And so we started, after we recorded the album, we started going through these Dropbox ideas that Adam had and started clicking on them, and I was like, oh, this song. I'm like, oh, well, that's Fall on the Blade.
I see.
Turns out I played the same exact part that he had on a freaking drum loop.
Oh.
70% of it was like
Symbian, man.
Like,
he doesn't check his Dropbox
at all. Never. And it was hilarious just because it was like, oh yeah, that's this song.
Got it.
Yeah.
Schumann, I don't know that as I've known you for a long time, and I've always told you you're a talented musician, but I don't know that I ever thought of you. I don't know that I ever thought of you, or maybe even that you thought of yourself as the one who writes the songs or instigates the songs. But now that is kind of
a way better. Yeah,
that's what you do.
The way to do it. Yeah.
Well, even with Trophy Fire though, he did the demos that he's passing around.
Okay.
He's arguably one of the most prolific people I've ever met.
I hadn't.
No, it's beautiful.
No jokes aside. I actually had no idea about that.
That's a true statement.
I knew that you could look. I could ask you to play anything, and you can play it. Any cover song, anything. But I don't know that I ever thought of you as the one who has the prolific creating.
100%.
Is that is that new to you, or have you always been this way?
They never listen.
Born this way. # born this way.
The honest truth is that I've always felt comfortable with my musicianship as far as a guitar player or a bass player. But I think in songwriting terms and pop music, I think everybody connects with the singer and the vocalist. And
right.
I think I can turn heads in a bar playing bass or guitar, but I just don't have the voice.
You never thought of yourself that way?
No.
But you're right. Now you're writing things that end up being melodies or catches and hooks.
Only because I know I have a singer who can turn heads in a bar.
I see.
And Jeff also likes great lyrics too.
Okay.
But just the same, the shit that turns my head is guitar stuff and bass stuff and drum stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like singers are the least important part of a rock band to me, which is weird.
Because it's you.
Well, I mean, it's the truth. My favorite bands are my favorite bands because of their syncopations and their guitar work and like the shit that, like, I don't know, it's a music thing to me.
Yeah. Can we hear another song?
Yeah.
What do you guys? What do you want to play for us next?
I don't know. I have to talk about some shit. I have to do a thing.
Like, talk about it with me or talk about it with Schumann? Like, who do you have to talk to?
Talk about it.
No.
Do not talk to
Clearly,
John.
I left you off the list, Johnny, because I know the answer. Yeah.
Because I'm a terrible arm wrestler.
You thought it was just one song. I was not prepared for this.
Oh, no. You always got to do a couple.
We've always said about John, great guy, nice dude,
Yeah.
terrible drummer, worst arm wrestler.
Right.
Great cock.
Yeah.
Great cock.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Awful husband, I've heard as well.
That's a fact.
Emily Emily doesn't want me to talk about that. But,
Okay. You gonna grab me another coconut porter?
And think about your answer.
This marriage fight brought to you by Maui Brewing.
That's right. Yeah.
Thanks, Garrett.
Poor Garrett. Yeah.
Marriage problems, go to the bar.
Fucking made me look like a bitch in front of my wife.
Tore my deltoid and ruined my marriage.
Yeah. Again. Now, while you guys are getting ready, Johnny, you had mentioned the album. What is the album called that people can get?
It's called Static and Surrender, self-titled.
Hysteria.
Are you saying
the White Album?
Conceited.
It's okay.
Where can people get it? Is it like iTunes?
iTunes, Amazon,
Okay.
all the things. Everything online, yeah.
All right. So what's the name? What do you think the next song you're going to do?
Yeah, what are we doing?
If only we could sheep.
Oh.
Sheep? Okay. I like the other one.
It was a bestiality reference.
This is Static and Surrender, If Only We Can Sleep. Live on the Brewing Network, by the way.
I miss you.
Like a motherfucker. I need to move this so I don't knock my.
I tried to give you the perfect intro, and then JP fucked it up.
Yeah. I thought it was me that.
I think Johnny fucked it up.
How often does that happen on the Brewing Network?
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
You were long before a judge or jury, you're just someone else who knows how to tell you what it's like to feel this way, 'cause I can't find the words. An able-minded man have tried before me and just fallen off the world. To be seen again, and now you're off destroying where it hurts. If only when you wear your weak spot wounds will find and destroy you, for more lives were lost than we could sleep. If only we could sleep. And I've been known to change a line or two before I say what's on my mind. Leaving me for dead until you tell me that I'm actually alive. Maybe plans are changing, maybe not. I guess it's all the universe. Believe me when I say I'd rather be the one that's driving in the hearse. If only when you wear your weak spot was refined and destroyed, for more lives were lost and we could sleep. If only we could sleep. If only we could sleep. If only we could sleep.
Wow. Yeah. You guys were all right.
You're all right.
Promise?
Yeah. I mean, you're all right.
Thanks, man.
That's a great song.
Thanks, man.
That's a really great song. I like it. That's on the album that you can buy on iTunes or elsewhere.
This next one is the first song on our new album.
Is that right? That was damn good. Yeah.
Thank you.
You guys surprise me sometimes, Schumann, when you come in with your bands.
It's amazing how much your friends think you're going to suck.
Yeah. I mean,
It's really not that amazing.
Well, I mean, you've met him. Like, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like I should be in like ball bust mode, but ever since I met these guys, they've done nothing but impress me.
Well, I will say that Schumann is probably the best musician I've ever met. You know, I'm not talking about the Beatles here, but like a person that I have met, he's the best musician I've ever met.
Yep.
His brother, I used to think, was like, oh, the kid can play drums, but really came into his own. Now he's probably the best drummer I've ever met.
And see, that's not where it stops with John. He's a baller singer, great songwriter, writes great melodies. He's a musical person.
Right.
Yeah, man.
It's
I can't arm wrestle worth a goddamn, but he's a musical
Right.
person.
Take that.
I fart a lot.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I as somebody that met these guys on the San Francisco scene 12 years ago.
Okay, I didn't know you knew them that long. Okay,
no. I mean, I knew them, and they were in a band called Cold Hot Crash.
Yeah. We played them on here. Yeah,
they blew me away, and then they disbanded, and then it was just like, all right, now these guys are in this band called the Trophy Fire.
Right.
And I know that the Trophy Fire was a band before these guys joined it. So I said, when the Schumanns joined it, that must be a badass band. So I'm going to check them out. And they fucking were, man. They were amazing.
They were good too. Yeah.
And I remember I went and I saw their CD release for their last record at Cafe du Nord. And I was like front and center, and I knew every word already. And I was like, fuck, these guys are awesome. I wish I could be in a band with them. And dreams do come true.
Because they were available. Because you're the only one who wanted to. No, they are.
Hi, I'm a bronze medal.
Now, do you guys you tour and you play? People can come see you. Okay, so you're not just sitting in your rooms recording this stuff. You're out doing things.
We're out doing things more than we're sitting in our rooms recording this stuff.
That's a fact.
And we paid for a while for a rehearsal studio, and our friend AJ's in the room with us. And we shared a room with AJ, and it was like a monthly lockout. So it was like we can set our shit up and just go in there and like practice all the time, and it's gonna be fucking awesome. We're gonna write songs. And then we realized that we play out so much that every time we want to rehearse, we have to take our shit out of the van and set it up and rehearse, and then load it out and put it back in the van because we got another gig that weekend. So
Right.
it didn't make any sense to pay for a monthly.
And it wasn't making you grow by doing that anyway.
I mean, it may have been, but we play out so much that we can't justify spending money on a rehearsal studio.
So where can people go find out how to see you then? Is that staticandsurrender.com?
/porn.
Got it, yes. And you can go check that out and find out where to see them. And I can ask this question now because John's wife, Emily, just left. But you guys, you're a touring band. You're not bad-looking guys. You're on the road all the time. But you're all, like, married. One of you's engaged, I think.
I'm
right?
engaged.
They don't know we're gay.
And I know you. I know you guys have been through the whole thing. You've been in bands for years. You've been the rock star, and the girls like you on stage and the whole thing. But like, how is it now? Is it different now to be on the road as married people and engaged people? Like, do you connect with the crowd different? Do you hang out less? Do you have to go home to the hotel earlier?
No,
to me, no. I mean, to me, I want to answer this. Me too. We do.
Yeah.
I feel like we do everything that we used to do, only now at the end of like the hang.
Yeah.
When I'm like, oh man, I'm fucking tired. I should go to my room right now. Whereas before I'd be like, you know what, fuck that. I'm not going to my room. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna like do more things.
Right.
Air quotes things.
Sure. I'm not done.
Now I just go to my fucking room.
So you do. You like your done point is earlier. You don't need to wait for the next thing.
No, I mean I still feel like I put in the hang, like I hang blissfully with the people that have come to see us and my bandmates and stuff. But then like when I'm like, you know what, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed.
Right.
I just go to bed because I'm.
So do Adam and I.
Bullshit. Here's what I think. Okay.
Road story.
I actually think that's a great answer. And the reason I ask is I think that, even our listeners at home are like, well, yeah, if I was in a band, and it's easy to meet people when you're in a band and you're the fun person, but things do change.
I'm not the fun one. I'm the boring one.
Okay. Well,
it's true.
The other reason I asked, though, is that I know that Johnny and Schumann are not going to bed early. And it's not because I think that they're out with all the fans or the chicks in the bar.
Because they're fucking
It's
stupid.
that they're idiots and they still don't know how to say no to like hanging out more.
No.
Am I wrong? I'm being honest.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of stories.
I would like to tell a story.
Okay.
I love this. Go ahead.
And this is just the last time that we went up north. We went as far as Seattle, and then we came back. Our first stop was Redding, California, and we didn't even play in Redding. It was at a place that we have played and stayed before, and these people put us up, and they made dinner for us, and it was like one of the best steak dinners we've ever had. These folks that have let us stay at their house many times, and now we get a chance to hang out with them, and they made us ribeyes, and we drank
it's phenomenal.
expensive bottles of wine, and it was like the ultimate hang. And then they busted out the like expensive whiskey.
Oh God, yeah.
It was like
It was ridiculous.
It was like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and I was fucking stoked. I just had like the best umami experience in my life, and I was like, you motherfuckers, I am ready to go to bed. I'm going to bed. And then Adam and John were like, all right, well, we're going out.
Going out? You didn't even stay in drinking. Yeah.
We went to a gay bar, actually.
Of course you
Weird
did.
enough.
Well, you were looking to have a good time.
We're going to get some action.
Yeah.
So the next morning, I woke up. We had to be on the road by like 6:45 a.m. to make it to Portland for our thing the next day. We had like a radio thing the next day, so we had to be in Portland at a certain time. We had to leave by like before 7 a.m.
Okay.
We have a nice big 15-passenger Econoline van, and it's got 2 bench seats that are suitable for the 2 hungover members of the band.
Right.
I remember driving.
I just want to point out there's only 3 people in the van. For those of you at home, we always know who Jeff's talking about.
We occasionally have a 4th member of the band who's this poor gal named Lauren, who she's not part of the story, but we love her.
Okay.
She's put up with this shit too. But I remember at this one point, I'm driving up like through the Cascades and the Sierras, like this beautiful scenery. The sun's coming up, and I'm like, fucking Christ, it smells terrible in here.
Oh, no.
It smelled like a brewery and a distillery met a... it was just the worst.
Met a Schumann.
It was just like every 20 minutes I would hear one fart from the one seat and then another fart from the other seat. And I'm trying to not drive the van into a ditch.
Right.
But then we got to where we were going to go at like noon or whatever it was, and these guys loaded into this radio station and
performed.
And they not performed, crushed it.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing.
It's so funny. Like
We're fucking professional.
That's right. But like anytime we come, like when we wake up from this night that he was talking about, especially like we went to this bar. Like what's the bar that's open? And Adam and I were literally walking around Redding for like an hour and a half, and every bar and brewery that we went to was like closed.
Right.
Closed. Right. We were just fucking hammered.
We will
Just like,
find the open
hey,
bar.
man, what's going on, dude? Like, oh no, we're closed, dude. Like, oh man, this sucks.
But you
What's the
refuse
last
to...
bar? So we find this last bar. Thank you, smartphone. And we go to this bar. And it's completely... Like, you never catch it when you walk it in. You catch it, like... You walk in, everything's cool. Like,
He's talking about HIV.
They're playing great music. Yeah, no shit.
Or anything.
Great music. Everything's going on. We're just Adam and I are just partying, having a
This
good
will
time.
never air.
And then,
right.
And then afterwards, you start like looking around the room, and there's just like dudes making out, chicks making out, dudes making out, chicks making out. Like,
sounds like a good bar.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You should grab some tequila. It's gonna be good.
You're asleep.
No, but yeah, let's
But you
grab
guys-
some tequila. It's gonna be great. So we grab some tequila, and everything's fine. All of a sudden, the bartender takes a liking to us, and he starts buying us more shots. Next thing I know, it's 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my.
Just like, hey man, we gotta go. I'm like, tight, let's do it. So I roll in, I pile in the driver's seat. I carry Adam to the back, throw him in.
We
bench
carry
seat.
Adam to the back.
Right.
We.
Thanks,
I
guys.
got the hands, you got the feet.
And we go in, and all of a sudden our
Wow.
tire pressure's low. So we do a
Oh,
tire
shit, I
pressure load
forgot
check.
about
Yeah.
that.
So it was like and I'm irritated just because like
You're fucking irritated.
we have
because
to
the
stop-
bar closed?
No, because we have to stop every fucking like 15 damn minutes to check the tire pressure. I'm like, dude, it's fine. It's fine. I'm hungover as shit. Like, and Jeff's literally stared at me. He's just like, bro, you smell like tequila and fucking ass right now.
And you were like, yeah, that's exactly that's what
exactly
happened.
what I smell like.
So okay, so you guys are still living the dream on the road. You refuse to grow up.
Thank you
I'm
very
sorry,
much.
to give up on the.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day.
By the way, your wife just brought y'all in beers, but didn't.
What are we drinking, Em?
She didn't care
Thanks,
about,
honey.
She didn't care about the rest of it.
I asked for coconut porter, but this is cool.
Yeah, I know. Beardy,
Well,
you're,
she was polite enough to text
you're more
me.
handsome. She did?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, what a
So
sweetheart.
I said no, thank you.
Get out of my studio.
Emily Schumann, ladies and gentlemen. Emily Schumann.
She's the best. All right, listen, I got to get us out of here. So I'm going to wrap up a couple things, and then would you guys play a song to close the show?
Sure.
Can we do that?
I got to pee, but yes.
So that's all right. It's all going to happen quick. You can go to staticandsurrender.com and check them out. Find out what their tour dates are. You can buy the album, and I recommend you check it out. Those of you who've been listening for a long time know that every band that Schumann's been in is quite good. So go check this one out too. I do have to let you know, longtime Brewing Network homie Michael Fairbrother wants you to go check out moonlightmeadery.com. Moonlight Meadery is mead for any occasion, and Moonlight Meads are the reference standards for mead categories in the BJCP style guidelines. Right now, you can save 10% on 2 or more bottles by using BN Army at moonlightmeadery.com/shop. That's coupon code BNARMY. You're going to get 10% off at moonlightmeadery.com/shop. Wonderful, delicious, category-defining Moonlight Mead. Check them out and let them know that we sent you by using coupon code BNARMY at checkout. Also, JP, we had a Twitter game tonight that we need to wrap up. A great one, by the way.
It was all right.
What was the game specifically? What movie?
Yeah, we're going to do a remake of some movie, but we're all going to be cast in it, and I want to know what movie we should start buying the rights for.
Got it. What did we get?
Well, we got basically just a bunch of fuck Schumans.
Okay.
Like 25.
I love that game.
That makes
it's
sense.
real
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
So, no, we got some pretty good ones here, actually.
Okay.
Brian says we should remake MASH. JP and Beardy can be Hawkeye and BJ. They can record Heads and Tails by the still in the tent.
Which one is BJ?
Whoever is shorter.
The smart one.
Right.
Surprise. Jesse Newcomer says we should do Apocalypse Now. Doc could be Captain Kurtz, or Colonel Kurtz, rather, because why not?
Colonel.
As Willard trying to figure shit out, and Justin as Kilgore pretending to be in that's a stupid one. We're going to take that one out because it's
Okay.
too long and complicated. Carlin says Encino Man. You knew that was coming.
Who the fuck even remembers that movie? But okay, am I
Brendan
fucking?
Fraser.
Am I Pauly Shore?
Justin has the hair and flat forehead like a caveman.
Yeah.
Apparently your forehead's flat.
Okay.
But he has Brendan Fraser's hair.
Is my
right.
is my Johnny? Is my forehead flat?
No.
Thank you.
No, it's not.
I couldn't rest.
It's
the
very
beard on
round
it.
and awkward.
Your chest is hella flat.
I think it's more of a five. It's a 5 head.
JP is the sobering voice of reason, like Sean Astin, and Kim Shimke acts and sounds like Pauly Shore.
Okay.
JP
That's
sounds like-
actually that's sort of accurate.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
John Durr says The Goonies.
John
JP is Sloth, but replace Rocky Road ice cream with cases of Rainier.
Okay.
Which I could probably.
That's
get
pretty
behind.
fucking dope.
Yeah.
Rainier.
Yeah.
Bruce Wolf says probably the Crying Game because, well, and then he trailed off.
Okay.
Conrad B says Top Gun because why not? which dibs on being in the volleyball scene.
Nobody
Just
wants to
gonna
see
say
you
that.
guys do that volleyball.
I know why. Yeah, Top Gun. I feel like just because of the volleyball scene, Top Gun is the only movie that does not fit this crew. That's eliminated just on realism.
Wait, you mean
John could be a Top Gun volleyball guy.
That's right.
Yeah, but he's not part of the BN crew, so
Right.
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Well, and the Top Gun is about
You hear that
like
shit,
really
motherfucker?
talented people.
Right.
Yeah.
So no, let's eliminate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just-
Eliminate
On
that
principle.
Just stick with losing to Maui Brewing.
His mouth's writing checks. His
You lost
arm
a
can't
leg,
cash.
My mouth writing checks, my left arm can't cash.
Tristan McCoy says the private parts, except it would only be about that one inappropriate Instagram post Kim made one time. So I guess she gets to play Howard Stern, and it's a really short movie.
I don't understand the reference. I'm sure it's
Yeah,
good.
so
though.
if
It
that's
sounds
the case,
good.
I get to be a part of the
Kim
beat.
had
It sounds like a good reference.
Here, I'll just delete it. Chris said missing in action parts 1, 2, and 3. Justin would of course play Chuck Norris if anyone could find him.
Yes.
Find Justin or Chuck Norris.
I'm like a ninja. I'm a work ninja. Never here. You
Always
can never
dodging
find
work.
me. Yeah.
And then Drunk Rhino says JP in the upcoming live-action Disney Toy Story movie voicing the Adam and Eve sex toy character.
Oh,
Which so that's what we got.
All right. Well, my vote, and I hope you all agree, is the very first one with MASH, where JP and Beardy get to play Pierce and Hawkeye.
I agree.
Right? Are we good?
I agree. Yeah.
That would be a great
Am
win.
I doing plugs or no?
No, unless you got anything that's we can't miss. We're good.
No.
No, let's just let them do their
All
thing.
right.
How about that? So next week on the session, we got Bale Breaker Brewing Company. I will be back in the host chair, which I'm excited about. It's good to be here.
Bruce Strong records tomorrow at 11.
Bruce Strong recording live tomorrow, and then we'll get that posted quickly. I want to thank once again Garrett Marrero from Maui Brewing Company, who he literally flew in last night to come do this
Boy, are
program.
his arms tired.
Yeah. Flew in
Boy,
last night.
is his arm tired. It's not that tired.
I have known him since we started this company in 2005. We never actually had him on a full show. I think I've done a little remote interview with him or something like that. So it's really nice for me to have him back on the program. So I just a special thanks to Garrett and Maui Brewing Company who did a great job. Yeah, and kicked John's ass, which was nice to see. So thanks
Kick
for
John's
that.
arm.
All right, how about this? Static and Surrender. They're going to play a song for us to get us out of here right now. What's the song we're going to hear?
We're going to do a shout out to Neshaminy Creek Brewing in Croydon, Pennsylvania.
Nice. I like it. All right. Static and Surrender are going to take us out of here. This has been The Session on the Brewing Network. Thanks for hanging out with us.
If you consider me the young apprentice, caught between Australia and Champagne, hypnotized by you if I should linger, staring at the ring around your finger. I have only come here seeking knowledge, things they would not teach me up in college. I can see the destiny you showed. It's from